This week, in Bloomingdale, Illinois, a man comes to town full of charm for the local women, but his shady past turns out to be a good indicator of his violent future. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Yay, indeed, Jimmy. Yay, indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmy Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us again and again and again. Oh, we're excited this week. This is a good one. This is a crazy episode. We were in Illinois. Well, we physically, but I mean, we did Illinois in, I believe, episode 80 was our last one. So the last Illinois episode. So it's been a pretty. That was the lesbian love triangle.
Oh, that was a good one.
That was a good one, yeah. So this was like a close second to that, and I couldn't decide. So that's why we're doing this a little bit sooner than we would do normally, circle back to a state. And speaking of that, by the way, we'll get to the episode quickly, but speaking of that, of circling back to a state, we circled back to Oregon, because Oregon's good, and we like doing live shows there, and they have interesting murders and stuff. And for the love of Christ, I think twice in the show we said the apparently Willamette fucking Valley wrong. By the way, everyone in Oregon, like everyone else that fucking sees it, guess how they say it? Willamette. That's how they say it. Willamette. That's how they say it. They don't say Willamette like you do. They say Willamette, because that's what goddamn looks like. So you take the cake now. You win. You win. Minnesota, you know what? We messed with you for 2 years about Lino Lakes and you guys breaking our balls and thinking anyone cares about how your crappy town is pronounced. Guess what, Oregon? You guys win. Biggest bitches award. Small Town Murder all time. Good for you.
That's Willamette?
It's Willamette is what it is.
It is Willamette.
It's what we say, Willamette, and they lose their goddamn minds.
Wow.
And so no Oregon episodes for a year. You're suspended. Sorry. That's what you get. Quit your bitching. So
they did enjoy us ripping apart Lincoln,
which was good.
We were right there.
Oh, I love Oregon. I love Oregon, but this is ridiculous. This was over the top.
The pronunciation was shit. But,
I'm sorry,
but our assumptions about a place were dead on.
We're pretty good.
How about
so
that?
You know what? Don't worry about your pronunciation.
Doesn't matter what it's called if we understand what the shit happens there.
God. So thank you everyone for everything this week, except for your pronunciation corrections. Those people, you can go to hell. But everyone else, thank you for your iTunes reviews, especially Apple Podcasts, your little purple icon, whatever. God, we say it all the time, but they really mean a lot to us. So if you could do that, please give us 5 stars. Doesn't matter what you say. Really not for our ego. It is just to drive us up the charts. It really helps. And whatever podcast format you listen on, if there's a rating, go ahead and do that. It helps us out a lot. Thank you for doing that. Also, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com.
Right.
Oh, the one thing you need to do is tickets. Tickets for West Palm Beach, Florida.
It's coming up fast.
It's February 21st, West Palm Beach Improv. So get your asses
2 weeks
down
from
there.
tonight.
That's right. Do it. Go over there and come see us at the West Palm Improv. It's a great place. Lots of other things you can do on shutupandgivememurder.com. You can get merchandise, T-shirts, leggings are in right now, live as of like this moment. Murder pants. They are leggings that say murder all over them in our font. So they are murder pants. You can buy your own murder leggings right now, which is wonderful. Get on there and do that, all that good stuff. You can do other things on there, like you can donate to us if you really want to be one of our producers, one of our wonderful people who we'll talk about in detail at the end of the show. You can do that very easily by going to patreon.com/crimeinsports. Or there's a link right there on the website too, from shutupandgivememurder.com. Or you can go over to PayPal, use our email address, which is crimeinsports@gmail.com. And one thing we advise you is listen to Crime in Sports. Good God, you don't have to like sports. I'm telling you, if you like this, you will like that. Trust us. Listen to Crime in Sports. Got to do the disclaimer. First of all, we may mispronounce a town name from time to time, so you can keep that to yourself. Second of all, it's a comedy podcast. It's a comedy podcast. We're comedians.
I love that that's going into
It's going to be a lot. Now. It's going to be a lot, yeah. Pronunciation, disclaimer. We are comedians. We're going to make jokes. The stories are real. Every last detail is real and everything like that. We're going to make jokes. We'll make jokes about small towns and people who do stupid things. But what we don't do, we go out of our way not to do, is we try not to make fun of the victims or the victims' families because we're assholes, but we're not scumbags.
That's the one.
That's the way it works here. So we feel like that makes it mitigates some of our jokes. So if that sounds good to you, we are going to have a blast because this is a wild episode. If not, you think true crime and comedy don't go together, obviously this is probably not a match for us.
No.
So it's not a good match for anybody. No. Have a good one. Take a hike. I'm sure the unsubscribe but's right there. Hit it.
Do you regret even a little bit inviting me to do this with you?
Never.
Now that if you had a half smart person sitting here, maybe I'd have been like, I think it's Willamette.
No, because everyone that's ever played Oregon Trail goes, that's Willamette. That's it. They don't say, trust me, I remember playing, or everyone said the same thing. No one said, that's Willamette, actually. No one knows that except for people who live in northwestern Oregon.
Except for people that live in Willamette.
We're going to have fun, and I think it's time to shout it out from the rooftops or the cubicles or wherever the hell you are, out of your car window. Shut up and give me murder. Let's go on a trip, Jimmy. You got it right that time. Let's go on a trip, Jimmy. What do you say?
Well, with Lino and Lino, I still don't know what
it's Lino. Is what they say. Yeah, we said Lino. Okay. God forbid.
Yeah.
So anyway. We're going on a trip to Illinois.
Great.
Let's do this. From the West Coast, from the mispronounced area of the Willamette Valley. We're going all the way to Illinois, Bloomingdale, Illinois, to be specific. This is in northeastern Illinois. It's outside of Chicago. It's a suburb of Chicago. And I understand the other one we did in episode 80 was a suburb of Chicago also, but story's fucking awesome. I don't care. So, and it involves other small towns too.
Right.
It's all sorts of small town weirdness. There's small town strange, like sort of culty things going on with it's crazy. This is like a Charles Manson light guy. We'll put it. So, it's outside of Chicago. It's about 30 miles outside of Chicago. So it's about an hour and change in traffic, into the city. 5 hours to Detroit, 25 minutes to Villa Park, Illinois, which is the last, episode 80, our last Illinois episode. Sex, Lies, and Duct Tape.
Right.
Which is a crazy episode. Listen to that.
Ridiculous.
If you have not heard that. It's in DuPage County. Zip code, I don't care if that's mispronounced, by the way. Don't care, Illinois. Zip code 60108. Area code 630 and 331. Had to tack that on
also?
They get 2 also. It's right. I don't know what happens here. It's 7 square miles, so not huge, not small. It is the motto here.
Yeah.
And this is good here. Growth with pride. That's the motto. I don't know what. I don't know what you have pride in.
Talking about their dicks?
We're growing and we're proud of it. It's like a Flintstones vitamins commercial. 10 million strong and growing, but that's
not a grower,
not
a shower. Is that what they're saying?
Or there's a lesser known one though that this is like their underground motto. I had to search for this one. This is like their 4chan underground motto. It's lesser known, quote, less black people than Chicago, but you can still go to Cubs games. Right. So I feel like that's the pitch they're really making, as a matter of fact here. It's a little wordier, that one, I feel like. And it's racist. So they're going to keep it on the down low, but that's what they're doing out in the suburbs.
And it's
there.
Bloomingdale,
like the store.
Right. Is there any link to that?
Not at all.
No link.
None whatsoever. Okay.
Great.
It's apparently in this county, it's one of the earliest settled areas around here. The Meacham family came here in 1833. Well, we'll talk about that. You don't know Jimmy? No. Jesus Christ! Now that's it. You know what? This show's over. I can't deal with Jimmy. If you don't know, if he doesn't know who the Meachams are, who arrived in Illinois in 1833, wow, what do we have to talk about anymore, Jimmy? How are we going to do this? They came here later on. Some more families came. It was originally called Meacham's Grove. Here.
That sounds lovely.
Silas, listen to these. Silas Meacham, Lyman Meacham, and Harvey Meacham were the first party people. Yeah. Party people, those guys.
So many sweater vests.
Silas, where's Lyman? We We got to get this fucking party started. It's like a 1984 Motley Crue concert every night there. That's what it is. Just broads everywhere.
And they're brothers?
Strippers throwing their clothes off and cocaine piles on the table.
Yeah.
Apparently, yeah, they're all related. I don't think it was a coincidence.
I'd ask
Your name Meacham too? Let's move to Illinois. Wanna? Okay. And then they all just got in a carton.
I assume they're brothers and there's no parents because they murder them for those fucking names.
You know that.
Those are terrible.
Thanks for calling me Silas. They were the first settlers here. They cleared away snow from a spot and said, all right, this is where we're going to start a town.
Yeah.
And they pitched their tents in March, and there was still snow on the ground, which should have been a sign that they should keep going west.
Keep moving.
Keep going until you hit the ocean.
This is the warm time.
If you hit the Willamette Valley, they'll go south though, because people there are assholes and they'll fucking correct your mispronunciations constantly. Nobody wants that. Right. So I'm just kidding, people. We love you, Oregon. So, but you're not getting an episode for a while. I'm sorry, you're suspended. So there was a lot of natives there at the time. Obviously, this is not unoccupied territory. Every time they go, let's settle this, it's like people come by and they're like, no, we got this already.
We already did.
We're already here. It's cool.
It's settled as fuck.
A lot of it's completely settled. Look around. There were their neighbors there, and the only people there were natives and the Meachams. That's it. And the natives were cool with the Meachams. They let them stay, which is a mistake, obviously. For a minute, yeah. They were peaceable and quiet, they said, and but the way they put it, the Meachams in their little diary here, is that they were, quote, generally peaceable and quiet, but filled with all manner of superstitious and savage peculiarities.
My word.
So they're observing the native people like they're, some sort of project, some sort of
like
zoological, some zoological, like Lewis and Clark collecting animals or something. It's super weird.
I hate that they called them superstitious. It's not that's called culture, you white fucks.
No shit, Jesus Christ,
Good
man.
God.
They found one of the things was after they got there, the Meachams, they found a dog in a grove hanging from a limb to which it was hooked with a piece of tobacco tied to each foot, and they were kind of like, "What's that's weird? This is he didn't do that to himself, probably." He was like, "I can't take it anymore. Never mind." He just. This tobacco will tell everyone of my pain. And he just hops up on there. No.
Or he was solving his own cancer.
Maybe. This is what did it to him with the leaves. And apparently the natives said that they had some bad luck and the dog was offered as a sacrifice.
Wow.
Wow. I would say so. It was known among the Native Americans as the Piniac Grove. Yeah. And there was a root there that was like a potato. Apparently that's what they named it after, I guess.
That's a Piniac?
A Piniac, yeah. I guess that would be a Piniac, some sort of off-brand potato. I'm not sure. Not exactly Idaho. Illinois is not known for their potatoes, so which is better? It can't be as good, right?
It's a knockoff potato.
Got to be worse than Idaho.
This is our Canal Street potatoes.
This is, come on. Grab it. What do you want?
It's got starch in it.
Hey, grab a sack. It's the Long Island potatoes. We grow them out there, too. They're all right. They're not bad. I'm not going to lie to you. They're not like Idaho and nothing, but they're a lot closer. So, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
You can mash it.
I tell you what, you buy a bag, I'll give you a date with my sister. What do you say? You look like a clean guy.
You bake it and tell me there's a difference.
Come on. You ain't got no diseases or nothing. That's all right. You bake it up, you come back, you hook up with my sister. You don't even have to take her out. Right. Just take her in the back seat of your car. We'll call it even. What do you say?
Throw your sour cream all over the place.
You throw sour cream on it, bacon, fucking whatever you want. These potatoes will hold it all, is what I'm telling you. They take it right in the face, these potatoes. So, Jesus Christ, man. So, they apparently they would loan each other things. The Indian people that were there and the Meachams would loan each other things. The Meachams got pissed off at one point. Harvey Meacham loaned a very valuable rifle of his to the natives for several days on the promise that they would return it, and they brought it back on the appointed day. So then they figured they could trust them.
Right.
So then they started always like letting them borrow stuff, and they would like teach each other things.
Started loaning with a gun.
Yeah,
You
they
out of your
started.
fucking mind?
Like his best rifle. He
Yeah.
said, well, tell you what, here's my best rifle. He said, if they bring it back, then they're good people. So they brought it back right when they said they were going to. So they said, hey, these people are all right. Everybody's okay.
If I don't know somebody nor trust them with my life, I'm not loaning my
Here's
fucking
a gun. Hold on, I'm going to turn around and farm
stranger.
some things. Yeah. Hold on, I'm going to hack up these. What were they? Piniacs. Hack up these Piniacs real quick, and I'll turn my back, and you can shoot and kill me, and kill my brother. Take our women.
My gun for several days.
Yeah, it's all right. Bring it back. I don't need it. I'll be fine.
Harvey's a dipshit.
There's no bears around here, right? No? All right, I'm fine.
It paid off for him.
It's all right.
But
so Lyman Meacham's wife died in the fall of 1833. So they got there just 1833.
Okay.
She died of the year.
She died of 1833.
They would call it she died of the year. And it was just, I don't know, just kind of ran out of steam, I guess. People die early.
There wasn't much we could do.
People die early here. Her coffin was made of boards taken from a wagon box brought from the east. So they didn't have, I don't know, that was a symbolic thing.
Use the car.
Yeah. The next death was a young mechanic who came to the town with a guy named Major Skinner the next year, and he was buried in a coffin made from a big log. And they made like a big deal out of burying the first few people, and then more people came, and then they died, and they were like, just put them in the ground.
We can't
Whatever.
do something special for everybody.
This is ridiculous. Some symbolic shit here. So then
can't treat you like a coveted mechanic.
No, what do we? And the wife of Lyman,
right?
She married a guy named Lyman. You know what a good nice lady she was. He said, "My name's Lyman," and she was like, "You know what? I can live with that."
And a mechanic in 18th.
A mechanic of what?
That's a carpenter.
I was
That's
going
not
to
a mechanic.
I've played Oregon Trail,
Right.
and you break an axle, and can you stick an axle? It doesn't really take mechanical skills. It's kind of just
it's a heavy piece of
can
wood.
You do it.
That's straight.
That's it. I don't know what the hell is going on.
That's a carpenter.
Yeah, you'd have to build. Yeah,
Right.
you build like the spaces for it to go into, the joints and everything.
That ain't a goddamn mechanic.
No, not at all here. So the Meacham brothers in their first year built a log house for each of their families, and they planted 40 acres of prairie and fenced it in so they could have stock, not graze off the area, but they could graze in their land. The settlement increased to 15 families by the end of 1834.
Now you're talking.
So they heard some things were happening. Yeah. Some shit was popping off. You can loan a Native American a gun and they'll bring it back. We got to get out there. This sounds amazing. So, they were, everybody, they said that people would just help each other all the time and help them carry a plow to get it sharp. And they kept all these notes of like how everybody was so helpful to each other.
Great.
Because if you only have 15 families, imagine if your town was 15 families. Right. Everybody would help each other out. There might be a couple people feuding, but otherwise it would be everybody be nice to each other.
Statistically, there's always a dick.
If there's 4 million people, we live in Phoenix. There's like 4.5 million people here. You can't care about everybody.
I'm not gonna ask these people for help.
You're just leaving them behind. Right. That's it. In 1849, the first permanent building was built. The first decent structure. Guess what it was?
The bank.
A church.
Okay,
it's money or religion. One of the two. Then they had to build a bank to put all the money the church got into. That's how this works.
The bank is number 2.
They're like, hey, we have too much money. Right. People are going to steal it here. It still stands today, this place.
Wow.
And it's a museum now. The old Baptist church here. Okay. They had, every time there was like the railroad came through, more people would come in. Every time there was like an event of something, a road came by there that was an easy access to Chicago. Mm-hmm. So a lot more people came because they could get to Chicago. They talk in this one, I love these little clips of writings of the time here. And they talk about one, they were all excited because, there was more stuff happening. And they said, it's amazing that this town's growing. There's already 2 bootmakers, a men's clothier and a tailor shop, 2 carpenters, a wagon maker, a blacksmith, a cheese factory. What else do we need?
You got a cheese
factory. You know
what?
Close the gates. We got a cheese factory. Fuck it. No one else.
No more.
No one else is allowed.
No.
We have cheese. What are we doing?
We got curds. We got cheddar.
We got whatever we want. Wisconsin's right there. We don't need these people anymore. Get them out. So, apparently, yeah.
I like that they're aiming at the men in this market, though. All those things were for dudes.
Oh, yeah.
There's not a single thing for women in there.
No, that's why they said it was Lyman and Silas. Right. They didn't say who their wives wives were. It was Mrs. Lyman. That was who she was in 1834.
There's no candle shop.
They didn't even have identities. No. They're like, we'll bury you out of something, but make your coffin out of something half decent when you die, sweetheart. That's all you're going to get out of us. It's a terrible time back then.
Sound should have been called For Men.
Just
for men.
Men only. And then they were like, hey, they're going to, and all the gays are going to come. You know, hey, I'm uncomfortable.
You like pussy? I like pussy.
You know what? I got nothing against it. Don't get me wrong, but when it's right in front of me, it makes me uncomfortable. That's all the guys. They were very progressive for 1834, but they're still a little lagging.
I don't
want to
watch.
Yeah, for now they're still like, come on, what do you care? Relax, asshole. Yeah, but for then that was very progressive stance in 1834. 1839. It was originally in Cook County, and it was annexed to DuPage County in 1839. Okay. And basically, they wanted the northern part of this town to be commercially developed and keep the southern part farming, kind of like Sim City back in the day. Like, I'm going to put a bunch of agricultural here, and then I'll put medium density housing right there, residential.
Southside sucks.
Need a couple commercial store.
Why is it every place that has a south side? The south side is always the shit side, unless it's like Miami, or unless
the ocean's attached to it.
If the ocean's right there, the south side's where you want to be.
Otherwise,
if you're in fucking Nebraska, the south side sucks.
Whatever side is closest to the ocean is going to be the better side, I think, probably. So
I don't know. Our south side is closest to the ocean.
It's terrible,
and it's shit.
It's a dump. Yeah, it is bad. Well, actually, no. The south side you have to go all the way through Mexico to get to the ocean. The west side's terrible too, though. So never mind. That's all right. So who knows? So 1923, this village split to accommodate this difference, and the northern part of the town they made it a different town called Roselle that's still there. From 1950 to 1980. In 1950, there was 338 people in this town. Mm-hmm. And by 1980, there was 12,659 people in this town. So it increased a lot. It was the flight from the cities. This is a close suburb. You can still, if there's a train that goes right from here to here, you can work in Chicago and be there and commute. Now, notable people in this town. This for a small town, this has some weird shit going on in it. Okay, this could have been a case for either small town murder or crime in sports.
Really?
This one, we could have done it as a crossover episode. Okay. This one thing that happened. Nate Fox was a basketball player. He played for the University of Maine for a while here, and he averaged in college 17.5 points, 7.5 rebounds in his senior year.
Great player.
Good deal. He played in Europe, though, played in Portugal and all sorts of, Germany. And we've seen all these, Israel, Belgium, Netherlands, all sorts of shit here. So March 2008, he was suspended from the world of basketball.
All of it.
A worldwide suspension, literally a worldwide international suspension for 7.5 months after a positive drug test it was doping, so I guess it was steroids or something like that.
A whole bunch of them.
Yeah, they I think they test like in the Olympics, in European basketball, maybe. I have no idea. But anyway, he was a good player in the Baltic League. He was MVP of the month a couple of times. Anyway, he ends up getting back in 2014. He's living in Bloomingdale here, and he's shot to death in his driveway.
Holy shit.
By a businessman named Jeffrey Wayne Keller, who ended up being convicted of first-degree murder. It was a big public crazy thing with a love triangle.
Awesome.
And this guy ended up killing this basketball player in his driveway over a woman.
Shit.
It's a crazy story.
Yeah,
it would have been a good small town murder. And then also because this is timely, Austin Jones. Do you know who that is?
Mm-mm.
He's a YouTube douchebag.
Oh, Jesus.
A YouTuber, like a singer or something, who has been accused of a lot of child porn recently. Very, very recently. He apparently was contacting underage female fans online.
Scumbag.
And persuading them to dance for him in videos and telling them how to twerk and shit for him.
What?
Telling them, if you're my number one fan, you'll take your underwear off and shit like that.
Oh my God, that's disgusting.
Horrible person. He's 26 years old now and he's doing this shit. And he looks like, he's one of these 26-year-olds who looks like he's 14.
Ugh.
He looks like a 14-year-old blonde kid. So he is going to get pummeled in prison.
Absolutely.
Like, he is fucked too.
At least his asshole will.
Well, yeah, in 2017, he was arrested at O'Hare Airport by Homeland Security.
Oh, shit.
Trying to get on a plane of 2 counts of producing child pornography.
Gross.
And, this was, in each case, he persuaded underage female fans to make sexually explicit videos of themselves while he was watching.
Thanks, YouTube.
Thanks. Yeah, he was released from federal custody to home confinement in his mom's custody because he looks like he's 12.
Yeah.
He posted bond. He has to, he's not allowed on the internet at all. He pled guilty 5 days ago in court, February 1st, 2019.
Wow.
I couldn't believe it when this came up. I'm like, I just read about this guy. He pleads guilty to a single count of receipt of child pornography, and he's about to be sentenced.
What is that?
I don't know.
Receipt?
It's a plea to get him down to a reasonable sentencing guideline that everybody can live with. But he's going to prison.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. He's definitely going to prison.
He pled guilty, so he just now is waiting on.
He's waiting on sentence. And it's a prison offense. There's no two ways about it. He's going to prison.
I wonder how long he gets.
I don't know, but it's going to be. Keep your eyes on that, everybody.
What's his YouTube name? Do we know?
It's Austin Jones.
He goes by
Austin Jones.
Oh, that was a big dumb move. Should have picked a stage name, dickhead.
Yeah, I don't know if that's his real name.
Everybody's gonna know.
I don't know if it's his real name or not.
Oh,
but
yeah, that's a good point.
Who knows? But that's what he goes by. Also, those 2 guys. So a murder victim with an interesting life
and a gross scumbag,
a disgusting YouTube pedophile, and Frank C. Rathie, the president of the American Bankers Association. That's it.
And he's the worst one.
He did not. Yeah, nothing. Never got caught for pedophilia or anything like that.
But he's a scumbag in charge of banks.
I'm sure he is.
He's a piece of shit. I'm sure of it.
Now, population in this town is 22,254. It's up 34% since 1990. Okay. Back at the time when we're talking here, there was about 3,000 people here when we're going to talk about it. So it's going to be like that. Median age here is high, 44.3. It's usually about 37, which is all the young demographics are low. All the age 55 and over are high.
Yeah.
So it's just older people live there. But there's still the normal male-female ratio. It's not too out of whack with.
No wonder Austin had no friends.
No, yeah. It's all old people. He's like, I'm not into old ladies. He's a fucking asshole.
There's no kids around here. I got to get on the internet to find them.
More married people than regular. God, I want to punch this kid in his face, too. If you saw him, you'd want to punch him. More widowed people because there's slightly more older people, just how it works here. White, it's about 75% white, that's about 63% is the national average, 75 here. 2.92% black, so not very black. 12.5% Asian.
Interesting.
So a lot of Asian people in this town. I don't know why. I don't know what I don't know.
Draw?
Who knows? But there's a lot of Asian people here. Good for you. Yeah. 9% Hispanic it is. So, it's a decent mix, more diverse than most small towns we look at.
Much more diverse.
72% of people here are religious.
Jeez.
Good Lord. That's a lot of religion.
That's too much.
That is too much. 41.9% Catholic. Because Catholics are the Baptists of the Central, apparently. Wow. That is,
it is north.
It's north. Yeah. 0.2% Jewish.
Oh.
So not a lot of Jewish people here. 6.6% Muslim. So a lot of Asians and a lot of Muslims. It's a very, very interesting here. 53% of the people voted Democrat in the last election, 38% Republican, 8% Independent. So that's pretty high here. Which in a Democratic district, they might have voted for Jill Stein or some shit. Unemployment rate's about normal, like everywhere else, about 5%. Median household income here is $71,000. It's usually about $54,000 in the rest of the country. So not too shabby at all here on the
YouTube fucking pumped that number.
Yeah, it's all. Yeah, he definitely upped the average here. Cost of living, 100 being regular average par. Here it is 124. Ooh. So a little bit high. Everything else kind of low. Transportation is high for some reason, 145. I don't know why. Housing is 148. So the median home cost here is $276,200. Yeah. So this isn't terrible. No, Chicago's an expensive city. Yeah. For anything kind of right around the suburbs there. A lot of the houses are between, $200,000 and $400,000, as you would expect. And if we've convinced you, all of you, you need to be in Bloomingdale, Illinois to live like Silas Meacham and party all night. We have for you the Bloomingdale, Illinois Real Estate Report. Found your average 2-bedroom rental here is about $1,680, so it's about $400 higher than the average. It's a little bit high, kind of commensurate with the real estate. Found a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,878 square foot vinyl siding wonder.
Shit, yeah.
It's a vinyl sided. It's a nice little house, but you know, it's, you know what I mean.
Wonder.
It's that house. That's, you know,
everybody knows.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. $289,000.
Okay.
That's kind of your average home here.
Yeah.
I found a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,149 square feet. It's made of stone.
Yeah.
There's no vinyl on it. It's like a nicer built house, probably a better foundation, nicer basement, better insulated. $374,900 for that, though.
Yeah.
It's a little more. Then you want to stretch your legs a little bit.
Boy.
Found a 5-bedroom, 5-bath, 4,800 square foot. Nice. It looks like a John Hughes movie house. It's a nice, like a nice house here. $690,000
Molly
though
Ringwald house
to live like Molly Ringwald.
Yeah.
It's going to cost you for your dad to drop you off with your sushi lunch at your Saturday detention. It's going to cost you, damn it.
Kirk Cameron poster in your bedroom.
Oh, you know it's right there. Yeah, just growing pains all the way.
We're all religious, so we may as well.
There we go. No shit. Things to do here. Septemberfest. Batten down the hatches for Septemberfest. Holy shit, round the kids up. Septemberfest is coming.
I can't wait for Oktoberfest. We're going to do Septemberfest.
It's the annual end of summer gathering held the first Saturday after Labor Day. It's kicked off with a parade that ends right in Old Town Park. In addition to stage performances, they don't tell you who's performed, just people will get.
We're going to get Kirk Cameron.
Local bands and possibly Kirk Cameron, but you all have to convert to whatever the shit he's preaching nowadays if you want Kirk Cameron to come here.
I guarantee it is the most extreme of Christianity.
I'm sure
whatever it is.
Yeah, he makes weird movies and shit. He does Christian movies that they sell in the discount bin at Walmart.
I had a plan to go get, because movie theaters will give you the poster of whatever's there.
Yeah, when they're getting rid of it, unless employees claim it.
Right,
I remember that as a teenager.
And I asked the guy because there was a Kirk Cameron one for.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It said like, puts the Jesus back in Christmas, and it was like a fighting thing.
God.
It was crazy.
He's fighting the demons for Jesus.
I was like, 2 questions. One,
him and Santa are tag teaming.
2 questions. One, can I have that poster? And 2, how many tickets have you sold? And he goes, we haven't sold a single
No
ticket.
one wants to go to this.
I was like, how long are you going to have this in the theater? He's like, I don't know. Maybe it's already done.
Anyone who would want to see this will not leave their house. They're all on house arrest, as a matter of fact.
Kirk Cameron's on his way down. That's the only ticket we sold.
It's just him. It's just his mom. This festival, in addition to Kirk Cameron posters for all, there's a car show, a quote family-friendly carnival. I don't know why it would be.
They all are.
It's X-rated car, as opposed to all those X-rated carnivals out there where you're just, you have to, instead of a clown's mouth, you have to shoot it up a stripper's ass and it blows up and. Fucking, you know how it goes, Jimmy. This is all in the same.
All bachelorette party.
You know how it is.
Novelty toys.
Dick straws for the kids.
Everywhere.
Everybody. Dick straw Slurpees for the kids. Everyone wants it.
With dicks all over.
Who doesn't want a Dick straw Slurpee? Kids? What flavor Dick straw Slurpee would you like? What does the dick straw have to do with it? Makes it taste different. It tastes like shame at that point. So, I haven't slept in 2 days. I'm a little delirious here, guys. So this is what you get.
When you finish the cotton candy, the stick doubles as a fleshlight.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's going to be awesome. You're going to love it. This is my daughter. So, variety of food, craft vendors, and a Lions Club beer tent, because it is Illinois and we're getting shit-faced. Crime rate in this town, what we're interested in. Property crime is about 20% high. It's a little bit high on the property, but violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and, of course, assault. Don't you dare forget about assault. The Mount Rushmore of crime is about 25% lower than average.
Great.
So they will steal your shit, but if you give it up, they're not gonna hurt you.
Okay.
That's the difference.
You do it peacefully.
Like, listen, give me all your shit and I won't do anything. You're like, okay. And he's like, all right then. And he leaves. And you're like, oh wow, that's just like the natives who borrowed the Meacham's rifle. They're very honest people around here. Give me that. Yeah.
I might bring it back on time.
Maybe I'll bring it back to you. You never know. I won't use your credit cards. I'll steal your wallet, but I'll only take the cash and not anything else you have of value, but not your credit cards. Cause you know what? That's a pain. You got to call the place and I'm a nice guy.
I can't do that.
I might be a criminal, but come on. I got my limits. So let's talk about a murder.
Yes.
Shall we? Let's do it here. Let's Let's do this. Murder here. Let's talk about a man named Edmund Henry Lopes.
Oh.
Shall we? He's not one of the Meacham boys.
Okay.
This guy. And he's not from Bloomingdale either.
No?
Not even from Illinois. He's born in Plymouth, Massachusetts.
Oh.
This man. We're going back in time for this one, Jimmy.
Good.
We're going back in time. This is like, we're going back to like, think about this. Like, this is going to happen in the late 60s, early 70s.
Jesus.
Oh, psychedelics. And this is,
it's so musty.
I don't know if it got to Illinois. I'm sure there's a lot of weeds. It's going to be definitely like weed and incense and patchouli scented this whole episode here. But then it's not really, because there's not a hippie in this entire thing.
Not one.
It's kind of the opposite of that. But
really?
It's the time that it's going by. And this guy is like Midwestern Charles Manson.
Oh.
Like in California, to be Charles Manson, you had to be like a hippie and cool and like do acid and have acid to give to other people to then dominate their thoughts while they were tripping. Gee, people are like, he was a genius for getting, give them acid and then make them think things. Right. I'll believe, if you give me acid, you could tell me anything and I'll believe it.
That's a good point.
You're on acid all the time.
Drugged.
On acid.
It's not just sleeping pills.
No, you could tell people anything and they're like, whoa,
I see it.
I can see it.
Right.
It's fucking crazy. Yeah. So, no, this guy without the drugs here, Edmund Lopes here, Plymouth, Massachusetts. He's born way back in 1936. Yeah. So he's an old-timey fella.
Lopes, L-O-P-E-S?
L-O-P-E-S, 1936, Plymouth, Massachusetts. In his high school yearbook, his motto was, quote, "Speed is our safety over thin ice." So that's kind of like you got to gun it through the turns, I guess. I guess it's the same theory.
Speed is our safety through thin
over thin ice. So if you're going over thin ice, don't slow down.
Right.
It's kind of like in Funny Farm when they were crossing the bridge. It's just termites holding the hands. You got to gun it. You can't go slow like that. You're going to creep through it. Back up and gun that shit. Back up 100 yards. Give it a head start. He was in the Marines for a little while. Oh. This guy. He's a tiny guy. Yeah. He's 5'3".
Oh.
So you could bully this man. Yeah. Like, and full grown. He's a very small man.
I got to get me one of those.
But ego.
Oh, really?
Big ego. He's that's what I mean. He's like Charles Manson. He's a 5'3" guy who wants to be thought of as tough, and he wants to be thought of as he doesn't want to be thought of as, hey, little guy. That's not how he does it. Okay. I feel bad for sorry if you're 5'3" guys out there. I feel sorry for dudes that are shorter. They know it. They're like, I get it, motherfucker. They either have a sense of humor or they're a total dick. Yeah. One of the two. It's kind of like a big fat guy. Right. Either a total asshole or the funniest guy in the room. One of the two. You're not getting it in between.
That's the truth.
It's the truth.
It's when you feel insecure about something or you feel inferior, you tend to compensate for that one way or the other.
Yeah, and a guy like that also 5'3", wants to prove he's tough. He joins the Marines. Yeah. He also played, I guess, semi-pro football for a little while. I don't know at what level that was. Back in the 40s and 50s, they had a bunch of little local football leagues that they'd pay you $5 a game to go out there.
They use them as the chains. They just lay him down, mark the spot, lay down again.
I don't know what he would do in football. He's a punt returner or something. I don't know what the hell. 5'3" is that's small at any time in football. Right. That would be a very small man.
That's a horrible.
He'd have to be very fast.
Is miserable.
That would be tough.
For a girl, it's not so bad. 5'3" is a decent size.
No, for a woman, they don't. Sarah, my wife, is 5'1", and she will complain about not being able to reach things and stuff, but otherwise, it's not like
it's not comically small.
No, it's just but if you're a man and you're that small, you're like, Jesus. Did you have polio? Like,
what happened to your legs? Why didn't they grow?
What happened to you? Like, that's how people are. It's not that it's right. I'm just saying that's kind of society there. Yeah. So he ends up getting married. Yeah. So he's a Marine, semi-pro. He ends up getting married and has 4 daughters. Wow. With his wife, back in Massachusetts. Yeah. So he's a military guy, and he gets out. He plays a little football. He marriage and 4 kids, and this is back in the 50s when that's what you did. You got married.
I hope she was 6'2".
And you got that would be the best. Yeah. All the daughters are like 5'11". Yeah. They all tower over him. At age fucking 12, that would be amazing.
And then he's walking him down the aisle, and they're bent over to hold his hand.
He's so angry. He's just so. And this episode is about him massacred at an NBA exhibition game held in a small town. Those tall sons of bitches, and he just goes there.
At a Harlem Globetrotters game,
I'll kill them all. I hate tall people. So he's got a wife and 4 daughters in the 50s, which is like a sitcom. Like, oh, dad's the only guy, and that would be like a 50s sitcom of, him and all his daughters. They all have little bows in their hair and skirts. But instead of, in non-50s fashion, in a 50s sitcom, he'd come home in a tie every night and take his sport coat off and smoke a pipe like Ward Cleaver. Instead, he abandons his wife and 4 daughters.
That little guy
just abandons them.
Thinks there's a better life somewhere else.
This guy, by the way, much like a Charlie Manson, is the ladies are mesmerized by this guy. Don't know why. It's so, and people will say later on that I don't know. Women were. I don't know why. They'll say, I couldn't figure it out. It wasn't like, there's some guys you see, and you go, obviously, that's why women like him. Right. The fucking guy's handsome or whatever. He's got some sort of something. This one, he doesn't give off any palpable air of anything special, yet they're just like, how do they all flock to him? I don't understand it.
There's a guy named Kieran that works at the clubs here. I've seen him. I mean, he's a friend of mine now, but I've just looking at the man, I'm in awe of what the fuck he looks like. He's the most
you see handsome people
son of
all
a
the
bitch
time.
Ever.
There's handsome people all the time. I worked with Jeff Dye a bunch of times. Jeff Dye is a comedian.
He's tall.
He was on NBC with some TV show there. I don't remember what the hell it's him and like Terry Bradshaw.
I forget what it's called.
Traipsing around Asia or some shit. I don't know.
It's called Canceled.
It's canceled. It was canceled actually. But Jeff's a great guy and a funny comic, but a fantastic dude. But he's you have to have some sort of confidence to hang out with him because he's like 6'4" and the most handsome man, and also well-mannered, well-spoken, polite to everyone on earth, from the lowest person to the most it's ridiculous. People like that, you go, I can see why girls like that guy probably. This is not that man.
And he generally doesn't discern between male or female.
No, he's just nice to people.
He's not gaming to fuck somebody. He's just nice to everybody.
I've seen open mic comics come up to him and just be like, hey man, and he'll be like, hey, that's a cool shirt. I like that team. Where are you from? And talk to the guy for 20 minutes like he mattered. And this person doesn't matter at all to him and can't help him or anything like that. He's a nice guy. So this guy, complete opposite. The chicks like him. No one knows why, but they do. And he abandons his wife and 4 daughters.
Unbelievable.
So don't need them. Moving on. So picture a man with a flat top and a tie that's a little too short, walking away in black and white. That's what that looked like, I assume. So he ends up developing quite a little bit of a criminal record as he goes around to these places. He picks up a little record here and there.
You're gonna get caught, little buddy. You stick out.
No, not him. He's gonna pull it off, man. He develops a criminal record, including car theft, contributing to the delinquency of a minor, disorderly conduct, things like that. He just kind of builds up a general resume of fuckery. Abandons the family, does a bunch of stupid illegal shit. Panhandle behavior,
Don't
basically.
steal a car when you're that size. That guy clearly doesn't belong.
Well, they'll be like, oh my God, that car's driving itself. And then they're like, no, it's not. Never mind.
There is a child behind the wheel. I'm sorry, sir. Do you have your license? This isn't your car. What the fuck?
The cars back then, the seats were very low, too. Like an old lady, you couldn't see them. They'd be sitting, over the steering wheel. Now you can boost your seat up.
Her white hair sticking right above the door.
Yeah. Short people are going to be mad at us. By the way, Jimmie is a short person, so don't be mad.
I'm a terribly short
person. He's very short.
It's embarrassing.
Jimmie picking on this guy is like...
It just feels good.
It's just, it's really arbitrary. It really isn't that much of a difference, I'll be honest with you.
He could likely say the same shit to me.
They would... If this guy had, like, tall shoes on and Jimmie had sneakers on, Jimmie, you couldn't say a word. He'd be like, all right, fine. So... We're just having a little fun. So he finds women, though. Abandons his family, no discernible things that would be attractive, but he finds women. He dates a local woman in Massachusetts named Helen Hansen. For a long time. They move in together, actually, as a matter of fact. They live together for a while. And then in 1966, she is found dead in her apartment.
Oh, no.
They just find her dead. This is not... That's the best part of this story. Not that that's good, but... this part is worse. Next to her, in a crib unattended is her 6-month-old baby girl. And this was in July in a closed up apartment, very hot in there, with the decomposing body of her mother, who had been there for 4 days.
Holy shit.
So this baby was in a crib next to the decomposing body of her mother for 4 days.
And she's alive?
Yeah, she was alive when they got there.
All right.
Thank God. Yeah, she was alive. Kellen was not alive. The mother, certainly not alive. Otherwise, she wouldn't decompose, probably, I would assume. It's much less chance of decomposition if you're breathing,
or at least the smell of it, because we're still decomposing.
Yeah, well, always we're dying from the inside. So, but the 6-month-old baby girl is okay, but Helen is dead. Now, they lived together for approximately a year before her death. This was like her live-in boyfriend. Now, the weird part is the cause of death we're talking the 60s, so 1966. The science is not perfect, but the cause of death is listed as acute alcoholism. She's 34 years old, by the way. And acute alcoholism.
She's been boozing hard.
That would be really hard. But the police in Massachusetts, that's all they could find for an official cause of death. But the police in Massachusetts said there's indications that they believe there was foul play involved. And it was just hard to prove because of the level of decomposition after 4 days in a hot, sweltering part. It wasn't decomposed completely, but there was the skin wasn't perfect and shit like that. And back then the testing wasn't as good as it is now. It just isn't. So it's a little different.
I'm surprised they didn't write she couldn't cheer up.
She couldn't cheer up.
This bitch died of not cheering up.
Prescription found in the drawer. Let me put my glasses on, my readers. Cheer up, bitch. She did not follow directions. So we're going to chalk this down as her fault. Suicide? We'll just put down suicide. So,
Johnson, would you look at her face? Completely uncheered.
Look at that. Jesus Christ.
Lack of cheer.
My goodness. These damn women won't cheer up for some reason. I don't get it. We tell them to, and then they just don't do it. We go, listen, woman, cheer up and take speed and clean the house. And then they get grumpy still. I don't get why. And you can't have a career, and if you do, you're going to get paid half as much. But cheer up.
And your bills are twice as expensive.
This is the 60s. Enjoy. So, yeah, ridiculous. So, the whole thing was very shady and gray and mushy, and the police were very suspicious and were really curious about this whole thing. Edmund moves pretty much immediately after this. He moves out of state, leaves Massachusetts, and moves where? To Illinois.
All right.
Moves to Bloomingdale, Illinois. As a matter of fact, that sounds familiar. I think the Meachams are from there, if I'm not mistaken.
And some natives?
Wasn't there a story you told me about a rifle, I believe? Jimmy knows all about this county's history. It's amazing.
Lore.
He knows it all. It's weird. Here, he does not go by his name.
No.
He goes by Jasper Brown.
Well, why would you do that?
If you're...
And
if you're this guy,
that fucking name.
Jasper Brown sounds like an old prospector that just came down from the hills after 3 years and has to readjust to society.
That's not a sophisticant of Massachusetts.
No, after living with the wolves. Right. Maybe that's why it's like, they're all rednecks there. I'll call myself Jasper Brown. So he moves there, changes his name, holds jobs as both a school janitor, because this sounds like the type of guy you want around the kids. Obviously, this is going to shape young minds.
But they wouldn't know because the Jasper Brown's record is clean.
Jasper Brown sounds like a school janitor.
Yeah, it does.
It really does. Yeah, I could totally. He's got a big, like a stinky, almost looks like a hand rolled stogie hanging out of his mouth, like a stinky cigar. He refuses to put out.
You never light that. That's weird. Oh, it's not a cigar. I found it under the bleachers.
I just like 6 months ago, and it's tasty. I'll be honest with you. It's not bad. It's like a Slim Jim.
Can't tell if it's dog shit or a Slim Jim, but it tastes fine.
It chews fine. Mighty fine.
Real nice.
Mighty fine. So also he works as a laborer in a country club, maintenance man, laborer, whatever needs done, fix that sprinkler, and then, clean up that overflowed toilet type of guy.
Greenskeeper hadn't been invented yet.
No, he's a janitor through and through. He's the blood slut of a janitor. This is at the Medina Country Club, and there and around that area. He also works nights at a tavern, a little bar in town too.
Oh,
yeah.
What's he do there?
He just works. I don't know. He's probably a bar back or something. I assume he's carrying things, throwing kegs.
Yeah.
He can get in tight places, and the keg room's small. He can maneuver.
Can
That's
you
what
fix
this is
the
all
tap
about.
in the keg? Yeah, I'll climb right in there.
I'll climb in there and over it. They can't. The last guy they had to fire. He was too.
He was too normal size.
Ate a couple too many deep dish pizzas and couldn't quite get in there. So he works there. In 1969, he meets a woman, another woman. I don't know how he finds these women. He meets a woman named Phyllis at this point. Yeah. So he meets Phyllis. She is a divorced 43-year-old waitress. This is in Bensonville. They work in this restaurant. So he kind of gloms on to her at this point, and he's like, all right, I can do this. He's a little younger than her. She is, like I said, she's divorced in the 60s, and a waitress in the Midwest had a certain connotation to it as, when are you going to find another man? Right. I mean, clock's running out, sweetheart,
You're in Bloomingdale. There ain't much here.
So it's, one of those, back then that was, so he might have felt like he could, kind of move in on her a little easier. She might have been like, oh, easy prey. She's a little down on her luck at this point, and all she needs is a little, Jasper in her life. A little Jasper. So they meet and they get married pretty quickly.
All right.
So things move along fast then. So they get married pretty quickly and they settle together in Bloomingdale. The marriage is not wonderful though.
No.
From the start. It's because he's not a good guy. Okay. Let's just say that from the start.
I'm always fascinated with how these people can change their names and then get married.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
In the 60s though, every paperwork was just written on a piece
literally
of paper.
that. It was paper.
Driver's licenses up until the late 80s were literally just put
chunk of
on paper.
Yeah.
You could make it in your typewriter if you had the sheet. Like
it's just weird.
It was crazy. So you could you could have a fake birth certificate, no problem. You could there was no like watermarks or any of that shit. And it was just a piece of paper. So it was possible.
It's just fascinating.
You could disappear back then.
Yeah. So easily.
So easy. You could be a different, that's what I mean. We don't know. They always say like in this, we never had a serial killer till the 70s. It's like, no, you had him forever. You just didn't know it.
There was no documentation.
Because people could just get away easily and you'd be like, a cow must have kicked her. I don't know. She's dead. And that was it. You didn't know what to call it.
They probably left town. Well, they ain't coming back.
How many like poisonings or things like that were ruled as natural causes back in the day?
It's why H.H. Holmes did it for so goddamn long.
Because people would just disappear back then, and that was normal.
You were able to build a house for torture mechanisms.
What happened to Jenny? Oh, she went to the big city, and then I called the boarding house, and they said she left a month ago. Who knows? Maybe she's in Montana.
She's clearly in the big city.
She's in the Dakotas. She could be looking at. We have no idea what she's doing. There was no Mount Rushmore then, but she could be doing anything. We don't know.
Jenny was off carving it.
We don't know. She could have been. And back then there was a letter took forever and it might not get there. And who the hell knows? There was, shit.
By
it was
the time
hard.
it does, she's already in another city.
Under a different name.
Postmarked in the Dakotas. Let's go there. She's in San Francisco.
She married Silas, whose wife's died. Or whichever fucking Meacham was Lyman. I think it was Lyman's wife died.
Lyman.
Yeah, Lyman. She probably killed herself. I have to be Mrs. Lyman Meacham? No, thank you.
I thought this would be easier.
No, I'm going back. June of 1970. So they met in 69. They get married. They've been together for a while. Rocky Road, June of 1970. All of a sudden, no one can find Phyllis. She becomes just family and friends who call her Edmund here. We won't go by Jasper. Okay. We'll call him his real name here. Edmund Lopes. But the funny thing is Phyllis ended up taking the name Brown. So she took a fake name.
That's so weird.
Which is crazy. She became Phyllis Brown.
So he never told her?
No, of course. No. He has multiple shades of who he is, and he's different people in different places.
So bizarre.
This is crazy shit. This gets so weird. Okay. So weird. So, he would say different things to different people. One time, somebody would call her, he'd say she's in the tub. Yeah. Phyllis can't come. She's in the tub. She'd be out shopping. I don't know when she's coming back. She went out shopping with so-and-so. Yeah. One time she drank too much and, didn't come home last night because she didn't want to drive. So who knows? She's sleeping it off somewhere.
She was responsible back then.
Yeah, she's sleeping it off somewhere. Who the hell knows? She just couldn't. She passed out somewhere. She was just shit-faced. And I didn't feel like picking her up. And then also, some people, he'd just say, well, she left me. I don't know where she is. She left me.
That's a lot of stories.
Just and when people would start to put it together, you can't tell her sister and her mother two different things. Right. They're going to go, she was in the tub. Well, I heard she left him. Yeah. So, did she come back?
But he told
and
me
then take a bath?
She was shit-faced somewhere.
Who knows?
Maybe it's all three. Maybe she was taking a bath, shit-faced, and then she left.
And then she left him because once she came to and was sober, she said, my life is terrible.
This is ridiculous.
And it's his fault.
My name is Mrs. Jasper.
Yeah, Mrs. Jasper. So in late July of 1970, so over a month goes by, finally the restaurant they work at in Bensonville there contacts the police to say, Phyllis stopped coming to work the month before, and we have no idea where she is. Yeah. We asked her husband, who also works here, where she is, and he's given us weird... We're suspicious.
Every day the story changes where she's at.
Yeah, so we're getting suspicious. You might want to just take a look and just make sure she's not, whatever. So do a little welfare check on her. Sure. So now about the time that Phyllis disappeared, right around the same time period, this is another weird thing here. You want to space this shit out is what I'm saying, and you'll know what I'm talking about in a second. Right around the same time Phyllis disappears, Edmund becomes involved with another woman. A woman named Shirley Johnston, whom he met golfing.
He golfs.
He golfs. And he works at the country club.
Oh, that's right.
So he probably gets free rounds. Off hours or something.
Certainly figure it out.
Free rounds. And so she is golfing with him, and he low center of gravity. He's probably a good golfer.
I bet he is.
But he's not bad. Yeah. Maybe that's what he's been running back. He's hard to tackle. Go right under your legs. Like a tiny Barry Sanders, but littler. So, apparently, they become involved, and he becomes rather infatuated with Shirley right around late June of 1970, same time his wife disappears. So, apparently, though, it seems to everyone around his friends, her friends, that he's more serious about the relationship than she is. Okay. He wants to be like, we're like, just replace his wife with her. Right. Done deal. Yeah. We're in. You're going to be, you want to be Mrs. Jasper Brown or what here? Let's get it on. So, Edmund here, on July 31st, 1970, Edmund and Shirley have a fight over the phone where he's telling her, I want you to move in and all this. And she's saying, I don't really, I'm not like that. I'm not as serious as you are. Yeah. We've only been seeing each other a month, and I'm just not as, I'm just dating, basically. So, this Edmund Lopes was not having this shit whatsoever. He goes to her home, mind you, to settle the matter, because over the phone, and I get it. Now we have texting, and there's no way to tell what someone really means in text. There's no inflection. Right. There's no tone.
Sarcasm.
There's no tone. There's no anything like that. So it's difficult over the phone sometimes too. A misunderstanding. You can't look in the person's eyes. So he says, I'm going to go over there and settle the matter and look Shirley in the eye and tell her how I feel. So what he does is, he goes over, he breaks in her home, which is what you do when you want to talk to someone. Yeah. You don't set up a time in a meeting and
surprise, bitch, I'm here.
Meet him at a coffee shop or something. What you do is you break in and you hide behind the couch and you pop out of the shadows.
Or under it.
And you say, cheer up, bitch. It's 1970. So it's insanity. This whole thing's insanity. So, he waits for her in her apartment, which is probably the scariest thing you could imagine. Yeah. Some angry man waiting in the shadows in your home. Right. So she comes home, like a normal day, and he confronts her, and she is... It's weird. She doesn't want to listen to him.
No.
Super weird, considering that, he broke into her home after she said, I don't want to see you anymore. Not only is she seeing him, but seeing him in her home uninvited, which is probably scary. So what's even scarier is at this point, Edmund grabs her and chokes her. Begins to choke her, and then says, well, I know what I'll do here. This choking is taking a while. It takes a long time, so I'll just stab her in the neck.
Oh, no.
So then he stabs her multiple times in the neck to the point where he leaves the knife hanging out of her neck.
Wow.
Drags her down to the basement and leaves her there, I don't know.
With the knife in her.
With the, choked her till he couldn't choke anymore, and then was like, well, I've choked the neck enough. I'm going to stab it now a couple of times. So he stabs it, leaves the knife in there, and leaves her, leaves her down there to, obviously die.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, he takes off. He's like, all right, enough of that shit. Yeah. Don't tell me you don't want to fucking move in with me.
Right.
Thinks he's, made quick work of her, and it's not like he lives there. So anybody could have broke in and done this. And in the 60s,
it happens.
Well, it happens, and there's no like DNA or anything. Right. So he'd just go, well, I wasn't there. And they go, he said he wasn't there. I don't know. That's all we have. Any witnesses? No. All right, then I guess case closed.
Yeah.
Problem is, about an hour later, old Shirley regains consciousness.
Oh, wow.
She's not dead.
That's my girl.
She's a tough one, Shirley, and she is not taking any shit. She wakes up an hour later in a pool of her own blood in her basement with full memory of what happened and a phone line that works just fine.
And then she cheered right up.
So, she cheered right on up. She calls the police, and the police come. When they arrive, they find her clinging to a post, trying to pull herself up, sobbing, just uncontrollably sobbing and trying to stop herself from bleeding. And they didn't know if she was going to make it because she lost so much blood and she was in bad shape, but she pulls through. Shirley does, and she survives. So Shirley's a survivor. And Jasper here, old Edmund Lopes, is kind of fucked because now he's got a living witness to a very vicious act.
Yeah.
He clearly meant to kill her.
Right.
He didn't.
Right.
That wasn't like a punch and then he walked away. Right. And he left a knife hanging out of her.
This is fascinating.
He's a bad, bad man. So she's sobbing and bleeding, and they get there and they help her. Meanwhile, he takes off.
Sure.
He either way, whether or not she's alive or dead, either way, he knows they might have questions for me.
Not a good place to be.
I've been seeing her, and we work together, and people know we know each other, type of thing. So he takes off, disappears. Okay. No one knows where he is. Several days later, his car is found.
Where?
5 days later, it's found in Illinois, around in the local area.
Okay.
Found, and inside the car, when they open it up, there is a newspaper clipping about the attack on Shirley Johnson.
Oh, Jesus.
On the front seat.
He cut it out.
So he cut it out. He knows she's still alive.
Yeah.
That's the important part.
Oh, that's terrifying.
That's the thing. He knows she's still alive now, because they, who would have known? Otherwise, he would have definitely thought she was dead.
Yeah.
But now it was publicized, this woman, miraculous thing, someone broke in her house and all this shit. And, now he knows not only is she alive, but, they're looking for him.
Yeah.
And he's definitely wanted, and they want to have a chat with him.
How many times
let's just say
bitch whore?
Oh my God. So he was, angry. So, so they really want to talk to him.
Yeah.
Not only, the newspaper clipping in the car, but, the woman saying that guy,
he did it.
That guy did it. I looked in his eyes as he choked and stabbed me as a pretty good, that's a tough witness to impeach at that point. So, now, the police mount a manhunt for him, clearly, for this attack. And also they really want to talk to him about the disappearance of his wife, especially now. Especially now.
Yeah.
They might be able to buy, she took off on me. She met some other guy and took off. But now after this, they're like, you know what? That's this. And then a woman disappearing. That was, it's kind of close.
Too much.
Let's talk to this guy here. So they had no idea where he was, and they still don't know where Phyllis is.
Yeah.
Phyllis is gone. Shirley survived, but Phyllis is goddamn gone. She remains gone through the end of 1970. So this is months they can't find Phyllis until December 19th, 1970. They find Phyllis finally. She reappears when a backhoe, it's never a good sign when you're found by a backhoe, was digging in and installing a septic tank in Winfield Township.
Somebody asked the operator, "Hey, what's your name?" She's like, "I'm Phyllis."
Yeah, she was working it. She was like, no, this way. She was like the ground person. She wasn't working the backhoe, but she was like the person.
She's on the ground pointing where to dig.
Right here. No, they found her completely decomposed body in the ground in December of 1970. Putting in a septic tank in a very remote area.
Wow.
A remote area like that 6 months ago no one was touching, and now they were building on because of the huge growth in this area that we talked about. So the growth got him. It's like in Goodfellas when they're like, we got to get that body out of there. Billy Batts. He's like, it's a Jimmy. It's been months. I don't care. We got to get it out. That's what we're talking about here. Same thing, except nobody got it out. And poor Phyllis is found dead, obviously. They believe she's been strangled and put. It's an 18-inch grave, so not
shallow.
Very shallow grave. You barely even.
He dig cats deeper than that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I would hope so, or else they're going to get dug up by other cats,
right?
And dogs and everything else.
They'll find that cat when your other cat's taking a shit.
Yeah. Now they were having no shit. What's that? So they were having a hard time identifying the body because they didn't know, and it was far enough away where they didn't know if it was Phyllis, and the body was very decomposed. The way they were more easily able to identify her is because she had a broken arm at the time and had her arm in a cast. Okay. And apparently
the cast is still there?
The cast was still there.
Wow.
And so they traced that to anybody with a cast that was missing, and and they figured out Phyllis, and then the doctor knew the rap that they did. I guess it's like if you roll it, it's like rolling a joint, I guess, like you know who rolled that joint. If you know like 5 people and you all roll joints or blunts or whatever, you know who rolled which one. It's just you have your own technique. Right. That's all I'm getting at. So nobody's a machine here. So that's how they end up identifying Phyllis. So now they're like, where the fuck is Edmund? Now we have a body of this woman and an attempted one. Chat time.
He's good for both.
Where's Eddie? We're chatting right now. So where the hell is Edmund? That's the question.
It's fascinating.
That's what we're all wondering. Where is he? Where do people go when they're on the run? They got murder charges
Mexico,
and
Canada.
a bad. Come on, Jimmy. Florida.
Yeah.
That's where they go. God damn it. They go to Florida. Mexico, Canada. That's like saying, what happens when the Raiders don't want you anymore? Then you play in Canada, but not here. You go to Florida when all else fails and you're out of options and you go Mexico or Florida. Well, Florida's wilder. I guess I'll go there. There's less law there. It's more
law.
It's more corrupt in Florida. I'll go down there. So he goes down there and uses the name of George Spezio down there.
He is really good at aliases. They're not even close.
This is just this is his former boss at the country club.
Oh, well,
his name was George Spezio.
That's not good at all.
So Jasper Brown was probably just some guy he knew in Massachusetts. And he's like, I'm Jasper Brown. So Edmund Lopes / Jasper Brown / George Spezio here. He goes down to Pinellas County, Florida, which is down where Tampa is. That's that county.
St. Pete.
St. Pete, that area. He gets a job working for a veterinarian. I have no idea what this man is qualified to do.
As a janitor for the vet?
Health. I assume all I can think of is when the animals are in there and they have to be in there for a while and they shit on the floor.
Yeah.
He has to come and wipe it off the linoleum. That's what I imagine is his job. That's what he seems to be good at, is janitorial, custodial services. Right. And otherwise, I don't know what healthcare qualifications he has for animals. I'm not sure. But he says he's George Spezio, and he backs that up with a book of George Spezio's checks, which he had stolen from his former boss before he left.
So that's his form of identification?
Yeah,
if I wasn't him, why would I have
his checks? And they go, that's a good point. It's 1971. We have no way of proving anything. So I guess, okay, George. How much cash would you like?
Mr. Spezio,
I guess you're
hired.
You're hired. And how much can we cash that check for you, as a matter of fact? So he started cashing checks down there. Just, that's all good. Now, while this is going on, Edmund Lopes is a wanted man in Illinois, obviously, for attempted murder and possible murder. They want to talk to him here. And so there's a photograph and a description of him circulated throughout the United States. So keep an eye out for Edmund Lopes / Jasper Brown.
Right.
Now, finally, down in Florida, he attempts to pass a forged one of George Spezio's checks here, and he is busted for it. And Florida police find that George Spezio is Ed Lopes, and they're like, "Holy shit! Look at this!" By the way, they also charged him with He's convicted down there on forgery charges, which carry a 4-year jail sentence down in Florida. And jail down there, by the way, is you have to live in Florida. Yeah. That's jail. They call it open air, and you just. That's why Florida's so crazy.
Stay on the peninsula.
There's no prisons. Right. They're just like, you have to go to, well, look, where's he going? St. Pete. All right, you're done. You have to go to Fort Lauderdale. Jacksonville for you, son. He's like, oh, man.
Enjoy Daytona.
Damn it. Shit. I didn't want to go to Tallahassee. Shit. So, so he's busted down there. They alert, down in Florida, they alert Illinois and the Massachusetts police departments because they see he has a record record there too.
Right.
So like, well, might as well see if, make sure. We'll let them know in case you're looking for him. We got him down here. Just, who knows? This guy, who the hell knows what name he was going under there. So then he's returned to Illinois to stand trial for the attempted murder of Shirley Johnston and also the murder of his wife.
Right.
So this is in April 1971 there. That's funny, too, because they asked, they ended up going the bad check down there. Yeah. They went to the real George Spezio in Illinois, and they were like, were you trying to pass bad checks? He's like, what the fuck are you talking about? No. That checkbook is actually stolen. I don't know where it is. I lost it or whatever. And then,
in today's climate, though, somebody would be like, somebody stole it.
Yeah.
No,
he was like, I must have misplaced it.
I don't believe it.
I must have misplaced. I mean, I never lock my doors.
Oh, that gun? You see, that was stolen.
It was misplaced. Misplaced. So yeah. Anyway, that they showed him the picture of this guy, and he said, well, yeah, that's Edmund Lopes / Jasper Brown here. So he ends up going there. Now, the sheriff here, they talk about the extradition. Sheriff Chief, it's Sheriff Deputy Chief. That's a lot of titles. You're a lot of, it's like up the chain. Yeah. You're a sheriff, then you're a deputy, then you're a chief. You're the sheriff of all deputy chiefs.
Well, he got demoted to deputy.
Yeah.
Sheriff to deputy, now he's chief. What is that, like sheriff, deputy chief?
Yeah, I think he's the deputy chief of the sheriff. Chief? But they just didn't, there's no punctuation in the title in the newspaper.
Sheriff deputy / chief.
I think he's the deputy chief of all sheriffs is what I'm going to go with.
Okay.
Robert Susek. He was talking about the extradition. He said, quote, I had heard stories about this guy and his crimes, but when I picked him up in Florida and brought him back, he was meek and quiet, never said a word. As a lot of the, if you're violent toward women, a lot of these guys aren't too ballsy around guys. It's a weird thing. You see that all the time. It's funny when you watch the Ted Bundy tapes on Netflix. Yeah. They're letting him walk around uncuffed while the prosecutor the DA reads off the list of charges. Right. You just know he's not going to take a swing at that guy. He doesn't want to get the shit beat out of him by a bunch of
He's fuming, and he hates that man. And he can't wait to take it out on a woman.
He wants to cut his throat, but that's what he wants to do, because otherwise he's like, those big guys are going to beat the shit out of me, and I don't have any balls.
If I get out of here, I would ruin your wife or daughter.
Yeah, well, first I'd trick her. I wouldn't fight her straight up.
Oh, God, no.
Let's be honest.
I would not tell her
she might be able to take me.
Right.
So, but I would trick her and pretend to be,
As soon as the handcuffs on her, she'll understand that she's in trouble.
She'll get it then she'll know. So he's arrested. He's like I said, brought back here, charged with murder and attempted murder. Also, police in Brockton, Massachusetts, would like to talk to him about Helen Hansen's death as well, because they suspect foul play. But he refuses to say a word to them. He just says, don't know anything, and I'm not talking to you. And they can't get him to say shit. And all they have to go on is, we feel there might be foul play. So they have they can't charge him in Massachusetts.
That's brutal.
With that. They say, quote, the death certificate stated the cause of death was acute alcoholism and was accidental. That's what they're going on. But the body had been decomposed at the time of the discovery, and there was some evidence of foul play. Yeah. That's in the affidavit of why they were talking to him and why they wanted to go to Illinois to take a trip. Now, what he does, he has no way of getting out of the Shirley Johnston thing. That he can deny all he wants, and Helen Hansen and even his wife, but Shirley's alive and goes, that's the motherfucker that did it.
That's a problem.
You can't do that. So he has to plead guilty to that. Yeah. He knows he's dead to rights on that one. So he pleads guilty to attempted murder, which is a big step for this guy, I feel like. He admits to it, the whole deal. On October 18th, 71, he pleads guilty to trying to kill her. He's sentenced to up to 20 years in prison for that. Up to 20 years in prison, depending on a bunch of factors. Now there's also now he has to go to trial because he will not plead on the murder. He says, I don't know anything about Phyllis's death. That's nothing.
Not me.
She took off, and she must have hooked up with a bad fella, and he put her under a future septic tank. I don't know what to tell you here. But there's a trial, and in January of 1972, he is convicted of the murder of Phyllis. The jury rejects a plea for the death penalty at this point, though. Rejects that, and but they do find him guilty of murdering his wife. March of 1972 is the sentencing, which is interesting here. While awaiting sentencing for the murder, he tells a parole officer that it's a pre-sentencing. They do the pre-sentencing hearings, and they talk to him, and there's a whole bunch of shit. He tells this parole officer that he turned to crime for thrills. Okay, that's what he said. He was just bored.
Yeah.
So that's why you start killing women and, you know, passing bad checks and pretending to be people you're not.
Yeah.
Just bored.
Well, I'm 5'3". This world ain't built for me.
I'm real bored. You know, I got a lot of stuff go. I don't sleep much. That's what I got, a fast metabolism. It's just the way it works. I eat a lot of candy too, so I'm going a lot.
You could have gone fishing, sir. Yeah, but I got to walk to the end of the pole to bait the hook. I can't reach the end.
I can't reach a lot of stuff. The boat's a real struggle. The oars are too far away for me. I can only do one at a time. Then I just go in a circle. It's just no fun.
I zigzag down the lake.
That's all I do. I grab one, I grab the other. So the report said, quote, he began to feel he was missing out on the excitement of life. He began to choose as his idols men who were involved in criminal activities.
Wow.
So that's what the pre-sentencing report says, which is not a good pre-sentencing report.
No, that's bad.
That sounds bad. Yeah. It's not like, well, he had a bad time and he's good now. Like, it was none of that shit.
No.
It was, he just was bored. So if he's bored, he might start killing women, which is...
That's not positive outcome for like later.
No, we're gonna put him away, right. I think. And in March of '72, the county circuit judge Alfred E. Woodward, not Alfred E. Newman, which is
the Mad Comics guy?
He must hate that so much. Son of a bitch, Alfred
E.
Woodward.
Put the E in.
I know, just kill that E.
Delete that real fast.
Nope, not doing. He sentences him to, well, what do you say here? We'll do it. You, sir, may certainly fuck off. 50 to 99 years in the state penitentiary for murder. No, this story is nowhere near. You're like, oh, okay, now we're going to have a couple appeals.
So that's over.
No. Way crazier shit. No, court is nothing. There's no court in the rest of this. It's just craziness. Okay, so he's sentenced to 50 to 99 years. You'd think... Wash our hands of this guy like a dealer in Vegas.
Right. Flip him over.
And also for the attempted murder here, he goes to the Pontiac State Prison. Yeah. And he goes, a bad place for a 5'3" woman murderer, probably, I would imagine. The prosecutor in this case, Joseph Laria, said about him, this is a great quote, he was a strange little bird.
Oh.
A strange little bird.
Who said that?
The prosecutor.
Yeah.
Called him a strange little bird. Mainly you call like an old lady a strange bird,
right.
Like a 75-year-old woman who's peculiar.
He got the little dig in there.
Yeah, he was a strange little bird. He was stoic during the entire trial and never took the stand. I found it difficult to believe, but ladies found him attractive. This is what I mean. The prosecutor's like, I don't know why. I'm looking at him going, he's a piece of shit, and all the women are swooning. I don't understand it. But luckily, apparently, there wasn't that many in the jury, or the ones in the jury didn't find him attractive, and they sent him down the river.
But the stenographer...
she was drooling.
Stenoggin one-handed.
She had to unbutton a couple of buttons in her blouse. She got a little hot. A little hot under the collar. That's how it went. So he goes to prison, Illinois State Prison. Lou Lowry, who's the assistant warden and sounds like an assistant warden at the Pontiac State Prison, he remembers Edmund as being a well-behaved prisoner, said he worked in the print shop and was always polite. He says, quote, I'd see him with the Bible in his hand everywhere he went. He had more charisma than most inmates, and he knew how to do his time. He was always mannerly. Good morning, sir, and things like that. Yeah, the Bible's going to come in big here, and he is going to turn into quite the interesting fella here. One of his lawyers said that when he visited Edmund in prison, he was told that Edmund had a steady stream of women visitors. Steady stream of women visitors.
There's barely TV yet.
Barely
somehow
TV.
These women know all about him and what he looks like.
A 5'3" guy who's not that attractive, and oh, by the way, seems to kill every woman that he gets involved with.
How big is this dick?
That's what I mean. This is crazy shit. They wouldn't even know he's in prison.
Yeah.
He's not like he's sending them dick pics over the phone.
It's a good point too.
Who knows what they're in fact? I don't know. It's what I mean. It's like a Charles Manson situation. He has this weird power.
I am blown away.
Without acid, he's doing this with no drugs. He's using Jesus as acid, which is a little weird right there.
That's some powerful ecstasy.
This is some crazy Jesus. I'm seeing everything. Wow. So he's in prison receiving a steady flow of women visitors. Throughout the 70s, he has a bunch of appeals that there were no witnesses to the murder. There's no murder weapon, no hard evidence that he strangled Phyllis Brown and buried her in an 18-inch grave. How can you say that's me? Right. What are you talking about? And they're just like, we kind of just think it's you. A lot of coincidences going on here. Now, one of his lawyers said, quote, even when I visited him in Pontiac State Prison 6 or 7 years after the trial, he was always contended he was absolutely innocent. So he says he's innocent. He says he's innocent here. Now, 1978, while he's doing all these appeals and he's finding all these women, he meets a particular woman, a woman named Joan, through the Pen Pal program here. Now, he, trying to impress her, really talks up the Jesus about him, the born again aspect of him, and that he might have been a criminal, but he's born again, and that's how Jesus can save you, and I'm proof of it, and that's, all that sort of thing. So not only that, he starts exaggerating and fibbing on why he's in prison. Rather than saying, I'm in prison, and you can't Google search him. There's no background check you can pay $10 for back then. It's just whatever people say. You have to believe. He says, rather than saying, oh, but I kill every woman I come in contact with, he says, I was a mob hitman. And that's why I'm here. And he tells her that he was on death row, and Jesus has made him turn his life around.
I'm no longer a hitman.
No longer a hitman. I've been in prison, and now that I'm on death row, which he's not, now that I'm on death row, Jesus has brought me around to the light, and, that sort of thing, and I'm saved. So it's cool. It's good. Don't worry about it.
A lot of eye ties named Lopes.
That's the thing. He said, but still, they used him as a hitman, like Kuklinski. It's the same thing. They're like, he's strictly highly paid, by the way.
I'd never be a made man.
No. He doesn't get his hands dirty with hijacking or thing. He's a highly paid specialist. That's what he says. I'm a killer, and they call me, and I have contracts, and I go out, and, he's very, very, very big time there. Now, Joan and Ed in New Year's Eve, 1979, they're talking on the phone, which is a great way to ring in the new year. Talk to your murderer, fucking prison boyfriend. And he says, quote, do you believe in Jesus Christ? Do you believe Jesus Christ is our high priest? Which I've never heard it put that way. I'm not a religious guy. I don't know much about it, but I've never even heard that, like, when I was watching the 700 Club to make fun of it when I was stoned when I was 15. I used to love to watch the religious channel when I was a teenager, stoned, and they'd like sing songs and shit. Oh my God, were they fucking hilarious.
Giggle your balls
off. Oh my God, Jesus, I would laugh so hard because just the hair, and they're all shiny, and they're singing these songs. I'm like, this is hilarious. I mean, come on. This is awesome.
The lamest of the white people write those songs.
Awesome.
They're the worst songs
they're grooving,
ever.
Ain't that good news?
The lyrics are terrible.
Oh boy, it's Pat Boone's up there fucking... Because that's what my cousin used to put. You gotta watch Pat Boone. He's hilarious, and he's just such a corny shit. It was so funny.
Ain't that good news?
Ain't that great good news? I remember that. We used to laugh, and my cousin would sing it all the time. Hey man, because we'd crack up laughing. Pat Boone all at 1 a.m. when we'd smoked a lot of weed. So.
Religious songs are always like, when you hear the lyrics, you just go, these aren't even easy to remember. How do people know this? They really got to
shoehorn shit in there. I remember that night.
Barely rhymes.
This was I was so stoned that night, I drank a can of creamed corn. Drank it out of the can. I just tipped it up and tapped the bottom and drank a can of creamed corn. That's how stoned I was.
That's disgusting.
At 15. Oh yeah, I didn't care. I was starving. Didn't matter. It went down. So yeah, that's at 15 I was chugging creamed corn, everybody, as a party animal. So Joan, do you believe Jesus Christ is our high priest? And then he says, quote, then why don't we declare our marriage vows right here and now? Since
he's your grand dragon too.
Jesus is everywhere, so he's witnessing it. So why can't we just say on the phone, we're fucking married, babe? So he does that. So they're prison married, I guess you could say. Phone Jesus married. Over the phone. So January 20th, 1983. He's released from prison.
How?
He's paroled.
Why?
After 11 and a half years of a 50 to 99 year sentence.
What are you doing, Illinois?
What the fuck is that?
What sense does that make?
The weird part of this is I did a little research on this and found some stats here. And 11 and a half years for murder and attempted murder is actually right on average average, in 1983, which was the year that Ed Lopes was let out, 234 murderers were released from the Illinois prison system. The average time served by all 234 of them was 10.2 years.
How the fuck is that justice?
The average thing, but the problem is he got sentenced to he didn't get sentenced to 20 years and then get out in 10. Yeah. He got sentenced to 50 and 99
much
and did
more.
Fucking 11 and a half.
Wow.
Which is really low.
That seems easy.
It seems ridiculous. There's only one condition of this insane deal. Okay?
Don't murder again?
Well, two conditions of this insane deal. Two.
Okay.
One is don't murder any women, or even try. That's the other three. Sorry. Also, don't try to murder women, and then
don't even make an attempt.
No attempting to kill anyone. Also, the main one is don't leave the state. Okay. You have to stay within the boundaries of Illinois.
We're going to keep you?
We're going to keep in the states. You just have to stay in the state on your parole. You're not allowed to leave the state.
If I'm Illinois, I'm like, you're free, and you're free to get
You're not allowed to come back to Illinois.
Yeah.
You're banned from the state. So instead, he is not allowed to leave, obviously. So after 8 days, he leaves the state. He immediately leaves the state because he's an asshole.
And that's what you do when you're told not to do something.
You do it.
He's the size of a teenager. He may as well behave like one.
May as well act like it. So rather than being thankful that he's out of jail after 11 and a half years on a 50 to 99 fucking bid, he instead, he has a parole meeting 8 days after he's released, and he misses the parole meeting. So that's not terrific here. So that they start looking for him. Now, while this is going on, in that 8-day interim, where was he? Well, I know where he was. He's with a woman in Westmont who says she also married Lopes in 1980 while he was serving his murder sentence.
Holy shit.
So he got out on, this isn't Joan from the pen pal program that he married on New Year's Eve with Jesus and the high priest. This is a different woman, who he married. And then when he gets out on parole, he lives with her for 8 days. Okay. This 8-day period where he's there and before he misses the parole hearing.
Where's this? Longmont?
Westmont. Moves into her apartment.
Where's that at?
It's in Illinois, somewhere around there in that same area. There's a shitload of towns there.
Got it.
So Sarah's actually from one right next to this. So anyway, he gets out on parole. He moves into her apartment, apparently gets her to like give him money and shit like that. And, kind of drains her of whatever she has. And then, after 9 days, he just disappears.
Okay.
He just takes off and leaves her, leaves Illinois, leaves his quote wife, leaves all this shit behind and, goes to Nebraska, to hook up with Joan, the woman he met in the pen pal program, who their high priest is Jesus, and they got married on New Year's Eve over the phone. So he goes there. Now they get married officially. This is while he's still legally married to the other woman that he married while he was in prison. So
what is he doing?
He is a disaster. This is a fucking mess. Now, according to this, in 1983, she files for an annulment, the one in Westmont who lived with him for 8 days and he left. In the court documents there, she says, quote, "He has a golden tongue. Certainly I was fooled, and I think the man used me to get out of prison. He pretended that he was a Christian. He's real good at that."
Yeah.
So he had her come in to these parole hearings going, he's a changed man, and I'm a good little church woman, and we're married now, and we just want to live a quiet life together and go to church every day. And
sold me a bill of goods.
All that shit. And so they said that to parole, and she's more sympathetic than him, I'm sure.
Yeah.
She's never murdered anyone or left a knife in someone's neck.
And she's legit Christian.
Yeah, she seems like a nice woman. So they're like, she's got no criminal record. She hasn't killed anybody. So 9 days after he's released, she does get the annulment. Okay. 9 days after he's released, they're looking for him. Now he's a fugitive, but they don't like really look for him. They just go, if anyone sees that Edmund Lopes guy, we're here. So, all right. What's on TV now? And they don't really go looking for him. They don't do anything, cause he's only in, he's in Grand Island, Nebraska, which you should never have the word island in Nebraska.
No.
I get that there's lakes and you probably have a little island, but
can't do that.
Fuck you. That's not an island. No. I'm sorry. So, he goes to hang out with Joan there. Joan, by the way, he calls her Angel. She's his angel always, he says. Now, they have a civic ceremony, like we said. He carries a Bible with him and quotes it wherever he goes. And they say he just goes around committing acts of kindness.
Yeah.
And then telling people, being kind to them, and then telling them all about his commitment to his Savior, Jesus Christ. And, he found it hard getting work, as a convicted murderer. It's difficult.
Right.
When people go, oh my, that's wow. Yeah, I don't think I want you working at Olin Mills taking family pictures. I don't think you're hired. No, you can't do that. We do have a shit mopping job.
And this is 83?
This is 83
Jesus.
In Nebraska.
This is far too recent.
He had, well, it gets more recent. So he just, he said he loved preaching the word of God, but he couldn't get anyone to trust him once they found out that he was a murderer, which, it's weird, right? Isn't it weird that not only do you get put in jail and so, gotta get a lawyer and go to court, it's such a pain in the ass, but you lose like social cachet. It's like it's not even worth murdering people. What the fuck, man?
Kill one person, you're a murderer.
2.5.
Right.
And, one, definitely, probably two, and almost three. And, people put a label on you like you're an asshole. Like you can't even be talked to anymore. Ridiculous. So he was really frustrated by that. He also loved watching Charles Bronson films and things like that, because that was like his old life on the streets. That's what he is. He's an enforcer.
Yeah.
He's an enforcer, man.
He's a bad dude.
He's a bad dude. But at this point, he's like, man, no one around here trusts me, and it's Nebraska. We got to get out of here. We got to go somewhere.
He's going to pick Joan up and move.
We're going to go somewhere where, guess what? We can just change. He's probably like, listen, you could be Jasper Brown. You could be anybody you want. Just go. I'll grab a checkbook. It's no problem. Where do they go? Washington State.
Really?
They go to Washington State. They struggle in Nebraska for 2 years at this rate, doing menial jobs and being angry that no one will let him preach the word of the Lord to them.
He's got to know they're looking for him back in Illinois, right?
They're not looking that hard.
But he's got to know that they're interested at least.
Interested, but it's like as long as he stays out of trouble, they're not actively looking for him.
Wow.
I mean, unless he gets taken in for something big, there's not like a linked computer system. It's state to state.
This is why Ted Bundy got away with it.
That's what I mean. It's him too. So one of his friends here in Nebraska gets a break for Lopes here. He gets Lopes a job as a salesman for a medical supply company in southeastern Washington, which is not like the wet area. That's like kind of like the almost a deserty type, bushes and shit. Looks like wheat's growing everywhere, that type of shit there. So at this point, he's preaching as much as he can. He's preaching, and him and his wife, him and Joan join the, you have to be specific with him, him and this wife, they join the First Baptist Church of West Richland, in West Richland, Washington. It has 12,000 people now, but back then it had about 3,000 people, spread over 22 square miles.
That is a lot. 3,000
people in 22 square miles is, you got a lot of space.
You can't see anybody.
No, you're spread out. You can't even hold hands across the fucking place. Like that's not a lot of people. So, at that point so it's a small town, it's farming and rural area here. And, at this point, this place at the First Baptist Church of West Richland, it's a Southern Baptist church, he starts telling everybody here, all the parishioners, about his, how did you find, because they're all like, how did you find the Lord and how did you find the Lord? And his is, he starts telling them, I was on death row. I was staring death in the face after being a devil person and murdering people for money. For money, I murdered them, goddammit. I was a mob hitman, and I murdered tons of people, and I was on death row, and I said, I've lived my life wrong. And Jesus came down, and goddammit, he touched my heart. That's right. I used the Lord's name in vain right after
I said Jesus.
To boost him. I used that as a booster for the man himself. That's right. Because that's how much I love that man. Touched me on death row and brought me out of my doldrums.
I love that he did tell them that he was on death row and for murder, because
multiple
you already
contract murder.
Somebody says I'm on death row, you go, oh, who'd you kill? Because nobody's ever been on death row for parking tickets.
No. And that's right. It's all murder. Yeah. And the fucked up part is there's something psychologically where you look at a hitman as less of a dangerous person, as someone who, I don't know, stabbed a bunch of women or strangled them and buried them under septic tanks.
He killed some people that maybe they deserved it. I don't know.
That's nefarious. But you look at it this way and you're like, well, that was the lifestyle they were in. And I mean, if he wasn't doing that, I'm sure he would have done something else.
Maybe those people killed people.
You got to make a living. Right. I mean, it's one of those things. That's what he was good at. What do you want?
Dexter.
Yeah. It's exactly, but not even that, because he has a psychological need. This is like a Kuklinski, well, I'm pretty good at it and people will pay me, so what the fuck? I guess I'll do
mortgage.
it. Yeah, I'm paying my mortgage. So that's kind of the way he puts it, and that is more palatable to people. He feels like, I don't know how many versions of the story he got to before
he was like,
before he landed on the one that hits. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if he worked this out. Yes, I was just gonna say, I don't know if he worked this out in the small clubs and bars and shit before he took it to Saturday night, Saturday early show. He's like, I worked, now I got the bumps out. It was a little long in the middle, but now I switched that punch around to here, and now
pulled the fat out.
I made the middle's now a tag, so it fucking works. It's weird. It works after the ending better than before. It's strange. So only comedians will understand
the middle part is the meat, and that's the one that really fucking uppercuts.
And I didn't realize
the big laugh, and then the end of it's just like the pitter laugh that rounds it off.
But it's only the big laugh if you say the other thing before it, because if you say the middle first, then it doesn't work. But if you do the middle at the end, then now you got something. It's
then
weird.
You got a low laugh at the beginning, high laugh in the middle, low laugh at the end.
I'm glad I worked it out in the shitholes, because otherwise I would have done it wrong. So
joke 2.
That's what he's doing here. So the people were amazed that such a terrible, guy who leads such a devilish life could be turned around by Jesus. And this is a story that people need to hear.
You should be amazed because it didn't happen.
Because it didn't happen. It's incredible. It's like a bullshit movie. I don't know. But they're so incredible. They're like, this can inspire others. If Jesus can turn this man's heart around,
oh boy,
he can turn any man's heart. That's the way they're looking at it. Yeah. They're talking about making chicken salad out of chicken shit. Wow. That is.
Is that an old saying?
It's lemons out of lemon. That's lemons out of lemonade.
Okay, because I've never heard salad shit.
I've heard old wrestlers and all these wrestler interviews I watch for Crime and Sports. Old wrestlers always say that if they get a bad match, somebody's hurt. I made chicken salad out of chicken shit, and it turned out to be a pretty good match.
That's hysterical.
It's like an old man term that I
never
love
heard
it.
that.
It's better than lemons out of lemonade or lemons into lemonade, I must say.
That's amazing.
Yeah, take that with you. Put that in your pocket and use that later, because you're going to enjoy that. You're going to be using that a lot, I have a feeling, at work and shit.
I'm going to get fired for that one.
Everywhere we go, you're going to be at the gas station. Jesus Christ. So
good.
They forgave him. They forgave him. Because this town, by the way, this is how small this town is, and especially at that time, but the town, you got to this town by crossing a narrow iron bridge over the Yakima River, okay? And the sign at the bridge says, quote, dismount and lead horses.
Oh, it's that old.
It's an iron bridge that they want you, watch. There's people that point is, people with horses cross this bridge often enough to have signage to direct them to the correct behavior. So,
and if this bridge collapses, you don't want to be on horseback when it happens.
No, because you'll go right through. I don't know if the horse's foot will get stuck or how it works, but so this is a small area, and they're so impressed with him over a 3-year period that they make him the pastor of the church. They make him he gets a preacher's license. Yep. Apparently in Washington, you need some sort of preacher's license. Yeah. But you don't need to go to college or anything. No. You can just go get a license and now you're a preacher. So he does that. And, these people are captivated by him. Wow. They're tiny people, and it's a tiny town. He's a tiny man. It fits very well. He finally found this thing now. Right? He's using his past that he's embarrassed about, that everybody would, keep him out of. I can't get a job. Right. They won't listen to my Jesus talk. All of this. Now he's using this to his advantage with this crazy story he made up. He's like, I can turn a negative into a positive. Sure. Or you can do what?
I don't know.
Chicken
salad.
That's right.
What the fuck? I recalled it. It's not perfect, but I recalled it.
The look of panic that crossed your face.
I don't know what we're doing.
Oh God, I'm supposed to know something and I don't know it. That was the funniest thing. I know I'm supposed to know this, and I don't know this information.
Flashbacks to junior high.
Shit. I was going to say, this pop quiz, fuck. She just talked about this. Shit.
Whatever.
Oh, man.
You're laughing about it, but whatever face I just made, I'm sure several teachers have seen it.
Oh, yeah.
And
they
wanted that response as well. They wanted to laugh, too.
They know that.
Who is this dipshit?
Oh, man. That's awesome.
Chicken salad, chicken shit.
Chicken salad, chicken shit. Yeah, chicken salad, chicken shit. Yeah, that's the one. So,
I didn't nail it, but you get the gist.
I got what you're saying. I get it.
I remember.
I get how it works.
I was paying attention 10 minutes ago.
You know what's up. So he's after a while though, he's not like this hitman that came to the church. He's just the pastor.
Yeah.
And then if new people come, they tell him this crazy backstory, and then he's the pastor, and that's all he is. His wife, by the way, Joan, her nickname for him, Lover Boy.
Oh boy, Angel and Lover Boy.
Angel and Lover Boy. No.
It's like the most uncreative CB handles ever.
They're terrible. This is, come in, Lover Boy. What's your 20?
Breaker, Angel.
Breaker, what's your 20?
Good Christ.
Oh, my God. But everybody believes in the mafia hitman shit, and there's also more lies we'll talk about in a moment. He has he builds a monument to himself of bullshit piled high. They get a nice little house, all good works. Joan is the Sunday school director, and he's the pastor, and they're running the whole thing. He also started a seminary correspondence course so he could become, officially get his shit together a little more with all the Jesus stuff. He does. It's Southern Baptist, so this is you're going to hell
all day.
You're going to hell, and this is like some hardcore
lots of threats.
Do what we say or else, motherfucker, type shit. Which is, I think, on the front of their version of what they use for their Bible. I don't know which King James version or whatever they use, but I believe it says, do as we say, motherfucker, or burn. I believe that's right on the front. So they tell you, they're not bullshitting you. They're telling you right up front what this is about. So, no complaining later. It's like a disclaimer. It's like our disclaimer. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. This whole thing here, he, Jesus Christ, man. He did he would like dress up and do like these, he would do like these big, just big productions, and he put on a show as the pastor there. He would, to make a point, he would dress up as like historical characters and shit. Weird stuff like that. He's here.
A little more criminal Joel Osteen.
Yeah. He's really, you go, why is he trying so hard?
Right. What's he on?
Ain't the word enough?
Right.
So, enough. Come on.
Yeah.
He earned $18,000 a year, but everyone said he could have 10 cents in his pocket, and he'd give it to you and find you an extra nickel if you needed it. Okay. He'd turn chicken salad into chicken shit into chicken salad.
Okay.
Just make chicken salad out of chicken shit, man. I'm tired. So, see, I can't say it either. He was an umpire in the local baseball games, a member of Dale Baird, who's a member of the First Baptist congregation, and wife Lois played piano at the Sunday services. These people are entrenched in the church.
Yeah.
He says about old Pastor Ed, quote, he had a good strike zone.
Oh.
So that's good. He was not a good basketball referee, but everyone wanted him behind the plate for baseball.
Okay.
So Dale knows, you need an ump.
Well,
your guy.
He's low. He can see the strike zone.
That's what I'm talking.
5'3", he's watching that ball sail right by. Eye level. Basketball, they're all above the rim. He can't see shit.
Staring right at it. Right. God damn it. So, Jesus Christ. What was he telling people? He told people he's a hired mafia contract killer. Yeah. He said he worked for Murder, Inc., which was in the 30s.
Yeah, him and Ja Rule.
Yeah, him and which he had his own little gang of contract killers. And he said that he killed 28 people as a hitman.
And he's claiming to have worked for Murder, Inc.
Murder, Inc. and killed 28 people.
Okay.
So, 28 people is what he's saying he murdered. That's big better than one.
Right.
Confirmed.
Wife.
Yeah, wife.
That's better than one wife.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
28, that's this, you can say what you want about back then, and it was sexist and it was very misogynist, but one dead woman equaled 28 dead men. Greater than.
Yeah.
One dead woman greater than 28 dead men.
Right.
Fine. That's fine. We can forgive that. You killed your wife, scumbag. And that's exactly how it is, too.
Yeah.
I can forgive 28 dead guys. One dead woman,
28
I don't trust
dead
you.
gangsters?
Yeah, I'll trust you.
It's a wash.
One dead woman, I don't trust you.
You're an asshole.
I don't trust you. You got issues. I don't trust you.
You don't want that equality, women.
That's a different kind of equality. That should be the name of the show. A different kind of equality. Yeah. So he said that he was counseled by Charles Colson, who is he was convicted in the Watergate conspiracy with Nixon. He was one of Nixon's advisors. Yeah. So Colson, he says, is
okay. It's going real deep now.
And personally counseled in jail by the evangelist Billy Graham as well. The world famous evangelist who wouldn't piss on this guy if he was on fire because he's so wealthy. Right. So he said he found God on death row, even though he was never on death row.
Right.
And at the time he said he found God, there wasn't even a death row in Illinois at the time. So full of shit. So he's like a kid that moved to a new school and wants to be tough.
Just wanted to create his own reality.
It's like in my old school, we did that. I
got a girlfriend. You don't know her.
You don't know her. I had to come here because I got a teacher pregnant.
Right.
He goes to school in a leather jacket.
Yeah.
I got my science teacher pregnant. You'd think she would have known. You know what I mean? Wink, wink. What's happening, sweetheart?
Got my science teacher pregnant. It was impressive because he's a dude.
That's how strong my sperm are. They're good swimmers. I'm pretty tough.
You think you're surprised? You should see Mr. Jones's face when he shit out a kid.
I was going to say, by the way, it wasn't voluntary, so I'm a pretty tough guy, too. I'm tough and I'm virile. Mr. Johnson's never going to forget that. I'll tell you that right now. Mr. Johnson's never going to forget that.
All right. Jesus Christ. I'm laughing.
I'm giving you detention.
Good God.
Well, it's a fictional rape of a child on a teacher, which doesn't seem possible. The whole thing is very not possible, so that's why we're laughing about it. We can laugh about that. That's ridiculous.
Oh, Christ.
So, that's almost like the George Carlin when they go, rape is never, picture Porky Pig raping Donald Duck, or the other way around. Elmer Fudd raping Porky Pig. Tell me that's not funny. Because it's not real.
It's hilarious.
So, that's the only time when it is funny. So, at one point here, a reporter for a newspaper in the area started hearing. She said she heard from a friend of hers that there was this pastor. She says, quote, basically I started out to write a feature in December about a guy gone good. A local minister here who's a friend of mine told me there was this charismatic pastor over in West Richland I might want to do a piece on because he had this really interesting background. Everybody called him Pastor Ed. He worked for the mafia executing people. That sounded pretty dramatic.
Yeah, it does.
So I would say so. So she said that he told her all about his how he felt as a soldier in Korea. He was never in Korea.
Oh,
he was in the Marines, not during Korea, after Korea, and never went, or when it was,
never at wartime.
He didn't go to Korea, is what I'm getting at. It didn't happen. But he talked about his disillusionment he felt at being at war in Korea, just made up emotions of other people's lives. It's ridiculous here. Also says that this is amazing, used to keep stilettos strapped to the inside of his wrist, like, switchblades, switchblade knives that he could pop out, like at the inside, he saw that in a movie somewhere.
Right. He saw Doc Holliday
or
somebody,
a Charles Bronson movie where someone came up to Bronson and popped a stiletto out of their thing, and then Bronson kicked it out with his cowboy boot. And I just did like a round kick in front of Jimmy's face from the thing.
Swirl kick.
Pow, he does one of those, knocks the knife to the ground and then beats the shit out of him.
Bronson's the original Steven Seagal. Steven Seagal just fucking bit all that shit from him. That's embarrassing.
Pretty much, the non-athletic,
right?
Yeah, because Van Damme's like he's doing athletic shit. Like you have to he's doing splits on chairs.
Nobody's
and shit.
watching to see his acting.
He's doing splits on chairs where his feet are up here and his cock's on the ground.
Right.
You can't do that.
He's teabagging the floor through chairs.
Yeah, while his legs are 2 feet up in the air.
It's insane.
Ridiculous. So she talks to him also. He talked about that. He talked about all the cars he had and all the women and the high rolling lifestyle of being a gangster, the casinos. Then he talked about the the horrible despair of death row, and even how bad the toilets were on death row was different from the rest of the prison. All of this shit's made up
for $18,000 a year.
None of this stuff is real. Okay,
this is how hard it is to make $18,000.
Yeah, you have to make all this shit up.
Oh my God!
So she kept interviewing him. She said, quote, he described to me in terrific detail his 16-year career for Murder Inc., which sounds like 20. That's too long.
Yeah,
15's too 16.
16 sounds like I put some time in.
It's long. Like you're a veteran, you're a pro, but it's like not like an unbelievable amount of time. Yeah, 16-year career for Murder Inc. He said he executed 27 or 28 people.
Okay,
he's not sure. Give or take a wife.
Yeah.
You don't know. Throw that on there. Said his weapon of choice was a Luger that he nicknamed Betsy. For some reason, he nicknamed Betsy, on which he said he changed the barrel after every killing, so it wouldn't be, the rifling, the ballistics.
Okay.
Change the barrel.
Yeah.
He's slick.
So he's found some
interchangeable barrel Lugers. They run tons of those all around.
Yeah. I mean, you can change them pretty simply. You can take a gun. I don't know what the guns were like in the 80s.
28 times. Just throw it in the fucking river and get a new one. What are you doing? You're a highly paid mafia hitman in the casinos, and throw the fucking Hudson or the lake or wherever you are in Chicago and move on. What are we doing here? Jesus Christ. So during this interview, it's with the Tri-City Herald, he tells this reporter, Wanda Briggs, that he also killed a woman in Brockton, Massachusetts in the 1960s.
Oh, you don't do that one.
Why did he say that? Who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
No one knows why he said that. She's not saying, did you kill that? She doesn't know anything about that shit. Nothing. She knows nothing about it. He just brings that up. Yeah. She was on board with the mafia hitman in Korea and all that shit. Now, all of a sudden, he's killing women in Massachusetts. Yeah. So this is crazy. He also told the story of killing the woman in Massachusetts to at least two other people, one of which is Galen Irby, who's the director of an association of 23 Baptist churches in this area in southeastern Washington. And police have obviously been trying to link him to that death for a long time. Now, the reporter, Wanda Briggs, says, quote, when we were done, I told him, don't be offended, but I'm going to check you out. And she said he really didn't blink an eye. So the reporter called Illinois corrections officials to check whether he had been on death row or not. She did her background. She's a good reporter, obviously. She checks that out. And that's at that point, they said, wait, who are you talking about now? Lopes. He's kind of a fugitive. And she's like, interesting. So this led them to him. Now she's like, the people in Illinois are like, where'd you talk to this guy? Cause we'd like to have a chat with him. He's, a fugitive and all that. So all of this, they start looking for him, and on December 12th, 1991, at 2:40 p.m., West Richland police arrest him at church.
8 years of this shit?
8 years of him it takes.
Wow.
For him to be so stupid that he talks about this shit to a fucking reporter.
Wow.
Rather than just going, I like to do my work in anonymity because, Jesus and all.
8
just say that.
Years.
8 years he's gone, on the run. So they finally get him. They arrest him for jumping parole, and after they read the story. The next morning, people of the congregation, realize that their pastor, they're calling him a liar and a murderer. There's a front page article that says, quote, lies expose killer turned Tri-City pastor, which sounds killer liar right in the fucking title.
Yeah.
Killer liar pastor. That's what you see right there. Bad stuff. The Illinois State Fugitive Unit head said, quote, he still owes this state time until 2019. So that's a long time from 1991, obviously, still now, right this minute. So he's in jail in Washington, arrested, and he said he broke down in tears, and admitted that he lied, but he's not a bad guy, and none of, whatever. Now, one of his members said, quote, he has an effective ministry. He would give you the shirt off his back. He's well liked not only by his church, but by other churches in this area. This was a total surprise. I mean, a total surprise.
Yeah.
So everyone is shocked. This is like blows a small town away. Like the Pastor Ed. Holy fuck.
Is a terrible, terrible man.
Well, he said he was a terrible man, but apparently he also lied a little bit. Right. But that's what he's trying to say. It's just the paperwork and that sort of thing. It's, parole stuff. I told you about what I've done. So, They want him to go back there, obviously. They're talking about he might be able to fight extradition, and he might not have to go back for a few months. But while this is going on, his church members, a bunch of them, end up raising his bail. They raised his bail for him to get him out of this situation.
Why
here.
Would they do that?
They do this. His lawyer in court said, quote, "So what has he done? Steal money, assault a female? No, he just left the state to become a minister. Is that a crime?"
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. You're not allowed to leave the state. It doesn't matter what you're becoming. Yeah. You could have left the state to become Santa Claus. They'd arrest you in front of your elves. It doesn't fucking matter.
He became something when he left the state.
It doesn't matter.
It's called a fugitive.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter
At
what
that
else
point,
you are.
The rest of it's moot. It's because you're a fugitive. So they put up his bail. $5,000 bond was being held, and they end up revoking his bail and then giving him bail again, basically. His attorney said, quote, "He never dreamed his bond would be revoked. He's devastated." So then they asked him, so they turn him in again. They revoke his bond once he's out. And then he asked for 2 weeks to put his affairs in order before being turned over to Illinois authorities. Yeah. This guy who's run from multiple things, killed women, and knows to run away.
Right.
Does separate fucking identities, forges checks. This is a guy, when you get him, you hold on to him tightly.
Yeah.
You don't let him go.
Never.
Judge says, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, 2 weeks. You go out in the world for 2 weeks. You're fine.
Get on out of here.
2 weeks of do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So, he said he was talking to people outside, to the press and to his parishioners and everything, and he said, "It lies, all part of the lies. I figured if I kept my nose clean, they wouldn't come after me. But I had this hidden sin and tried to run away. Now God has told me I can't hide." He acts like he turned himself in now. God's told me that. But he let me know by sending a bunch of police officers in to arrest me. Right. It's a weird way. They say God works in mysterious ways. Yeah. Sometimes he works through handcuffs.
Hey, reporters, what did he tell you?
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Forget what Jesus told him. What did he tell you? And tell all of us, please.
Just let all of us know.
This is much more important.
Yeah, this is a big deal here. They said that his parishioners, most of them believed at this point, and this is what they told the press, they believed that Satan was responsible for their pastor's unmasking, and they raised $50,000 to free him before his bail was revoked. One person in the congregation, a Tammy Burke, said, quote, "It's got to be a mistake. He has such a wonderful testimony about how he was saved in prison, and I've grown in the Lord tremendously because of him.
Wow.
So how could he be lying? I believed it, so it can't be a lie." That's what she basically said. He told me such a line of bullshit. How could that be a lie? I believed it. Because it's a lie, that's why. Another woman, Patty Wilson, the women like him, described him as a true messenger of God. She said, "I about fell off my chair when I first heard his testimony about his past life as a mafia hitman. I do know that God works in special ways. This may be one of those times." Yeah. So they believe in him so much, they believe this must be something that God's doing.
Wow.
For everyone's benefit.
How dumb.
That's how trusting. It's amazing. It's incredible.
Are they good? That's a question, though. Are they good people for doing this?
I don't know. Are they just naive?
Yeah.
I think naive is the midway point between those two things, probably.
Yeah, between dummies and
dumb
good people.
and just good is naive. You're just like a little too, it's like a clutch. And that's, it's like it's one of those things. You're putting it in and out. This pastor Galen Irby, he said his church and all the churches would stand behind Lopes, describing him as an exemplary person with a fine record as a pastor. Yeah. He says, quote, "We're in the business of trying to redeem people." And you can't get any more redeemed than that.
No.
He said, quote, "I wouldn't even say we made a mistake with him. He has never been any problem, and I've never had one complaint against him. He's been a different person now from what he was a long time ago." Now, Joan Lopes had no idea. She had no idea he ever killed a woman. This is of news to him, because this comes out of Illinois that he's not a hitman, but in actuality, he's convicted of killing his wife.
Joan's lucky to be alive.
And she hears that, and she says that she's shocked, but she doesn't care. She stands firmly behind him.
Wow.
He's a changed man. No matter what the past had, it doesn't matter. He had to lie if that's what he had to do, but he did it for good. This is God working in a special way. Yeah. This isn't a liar who's trying to outrun a murder rap.
It's either God working in mysterious ways or a criminal working in criminal ways.
In very basic criminal ways, not mysterious at all. Pretty straightforward criminal ways. So, he addresses the day after he left jail for his 2-week hiatus here. He addressed a bunch of people in Oregon, saying that it was funny though. He wouldn't tell them the truth too. He said the newspaper stories about him were all lies. He said it was a clerical error that he's a victim of. This is bullshit. He didn't say bullshit. I'm sure that would have been a good church. This is bullshit, man. Yeah. He said they said his voice was trembling. He was really worked up. He asked them 3 times, "People, do you love me? If so, do you forgive me?" 3 times, really loud. This is a Manson thing, total Manson thing. So he would lay low a little bit. He said he was hoping it would all blow over, and he just wanted us to lay low. Even another thing, the parishioners. Jesus Christ. One of them tried to plant a story with a television station who had an in with the station, saying that Lopes's, the whole thing had just been a paperwork mistake in the prosecutor's office. And, whatever. They were these church people were trying to blatantly lie and get the press to lie for him because in their mind, it's worth it because he's going to bring in the lambs or the sheep or whatever the fuck you bring in
to slaughter
or to the herd or I don't know. Right. So on Christmas Eve, finally he's summoned to a special inquiry of the nearby town of Pasco, where he's interrogated by 6 fellow ministers. This is like getting called to a mob meeting in like Donnie Brasco when they take their jewelry off and give it to the next guy. Like, I might not come back for this. Sonny Black is calling for me. I gotta go. What am I supposed to do?
He's got to sit down with the Grand Dragons.
6 fellow ministers. Yes. The Grand Dragons here. They begged him to come clean about his past. They promised him love and support. Eventually, Pastor Ed agrees to write a letter of explanation to the members of the church. So on Christmas Day, he wrote this out here.
Oh, boy.
Dear parishioner, you are aware that in the past few days, things have come to light concerning my past, showing that I have not been truthful. I want to come before our church on this Sunday, December 29th, 1991. He's making an appointment to set the record straight. A few days from now, 4 days. Be there or be square, RSVP, you know what I'm saying. Bring a dish. That's all I'm going to say. All right. Gotta go. BYOB. All right. So he said, I want to share with you my true testimony and clear the air of whatever is untrue. He went on to describe his lies. He said there was no mafia. He was never on death row. Well, there is a mafia, but he wasn't a part of it. Hey, the mafia is a fucking lie. It doesn't exist. He said there's no death row, no Chuck Colson there, no Billy Graham, none of these people. He said that these were all deceptive things that he said, but they weren't meant to hurt them. He took pains to emphasize the truth of his commitment to his wife and his religious conversion. He said, that's all that's important.
Right.
I don't care what I said before about this or what I actually did. Right now, it's Jesus and Joan and Jesus. That's all there is to it.
So they feel like that time that I told that girl that I was in the Marines.
Exactly. It's the same thing. It's exactly what he stole mafia glory instead.
Shit, now I got to keep lying.
Shit, damn it. Fuck. How many people I tell?
I didn't expect you to stick around.
Damn it. You're still here? Shit. So he also said an explanation. He said he was afraid of being rejected, and he created the lies so people could accept and like him. And he apologized to his parishioners and asked God's forgiveness, and that each parishioner meet him face to face and let him share this true test. Mm-hmm. I'll look you in the eye individually, and I'll tell you this. So he addressed everybody, all the pastors. The problem is, the pastor said that he seemed pathologically incapable of saying anything without bearing false witness. Yeah. He said, quote, you've come to hear a confession and you will. And he said, I've lived a lie. He tells the church. Then he talks about all the lies. He also says that Wanda Briggs, the Herald reporter, was, quote, God's instrument to expose me. So he was not saying bad things about her. He said he became a minister to hardened criminals and in prison, and quote, became a preacher and I felt good about myself. And people in the congregation were crying. He brought tears to their eyes. He said, I stand before you sorry and ashamed. I'm a man who has repented, a man who has been forgiven.
Yeah.
So that's that. Moving on.
So give me $18,000 a year.
Pancake breakfast this Saturday morning. He just gets on, moves on with announcements. We're going to have a toy drive at the end of this month.
We have a rummage sale. Bring all your shit you don't want.
Oh, it's going to be good. So he admitted that he was legitimately convicted of murdering 2 women, one of which was his former wife, and or convicted of murdering a woman, one of which was his ex-wife, and attempting to murder the other woman here. Then he wished them goodbye, and he asked everyone to support him that night. And when he came back for his service, after he told everybody the truth, he said, "Now I told everybody came to hear the truth,
right.
But now if you still want to come and pray with me later on, after hearing all that, I'd appreciate it." So later on, 38 of the people came to pray with him that night.
Wow.
So these people stayed.
38 people are so nice.
It's insane. So the next day, he invites all these Baptist ministers over again to have a roundtable discussion with the reporter. And Briggs, the reporter, kept asking him for more details about these murders, anything. Just give me details here. He refused to answer, but finally, after the ministers would ask him questions, he broke down. He admitted that he murdered the woman in Brockton, Massachusetts, Helen Hansen, that he hasn't been convicted for. And he said he met her at a bar, and he killed her later that night, and he didn't know her name or which bar it was, which is also lies, because he was living with her for a year.
Yeah.
So Wanda Briggs said, quote, he was vague, almost evasive. And so they said they really felt like he was lying about a lot of things. So they asked him how old he was, which they knew the answer to. And he replied that he was 61, even though everybody knew that he was 56. So, one of the time, the Pastor Phillips asked him, he said, quote, listen, Ed, how old are you? And he said, brother, I'm 56. And this guy just lost his temper and got pissed off, smacked the table and said, quote, you mean after all this, you can't even tell me the truth about something as simple as your age? You've been lying about that too? Enough is enough. If he lies about something as insignificant as his age, then what else is he lying about?
Yeah.
Everything. Fucking everything.
He's never told you anything true.
Everything he says. What would make you think it's true at this point? That's what I would, not what would make you think it's a lie. What would make you think it's true?
Right.
Jesus Christ. So, police in Brockton, Massachusetts reopened the case of Helen Hansen. It's 26 years old at that point. They name Ed Lopes as a suspect. Now he's being investigated. Like I said, he goes back to jail. And when his wife hears about that, Joan, she's very shaken. So he's back behind bars. He finally agrees to resign his ministry after a church survey showed 2/3 of his congregation wanted him to resign. So from his cell, he wrote a letter of resignation. That was biblical, obviously, a lot of shit like that. I'm sure he was throwing himself right up there on the cross, for lack of a better term. Just martyring himself.
At the mercy of the court.
So they exhumed Helen Hansen.
Really?
A preliminary autopsy showed that she may have been beaten or strangled. Now, with better technology, 26 years later, she may have been beaten or strangled. And another guy, this is fucked up too. When he's arrested in West Richland, when they take him out of church and interrogate him, one of the guys in the police department who's assigned to interview him was actually one of his parishioners. So he had to say, Pastor Ed, I'm sorry, but let me talk to you about killing a person here. And Pastor Ed wouldn't talk to him even.
Really?
No.
Give me a new one.
Yeah,
give me a new one.
So back in Illinois, there's details of the Helen Hansen murder are revealed. One of 7 of the members of his congregation traveled from Washington to Illinois to attend his hearings and support him.
How do you do that?
It's insane. This woman, Mary Land, said, quote, I don't think anything could shock us or surprise us anymore about this whole thing. So, but it was shocking to his current wife, who was shocked she was still alive.
Buckle up, Miss Land. This is going to get crazy.
When County Prosecutor Andy Miller read an affidavit about with the police report of what they found with Helen Hansen, Joan was said to have put her hand over her mouth and said, "Oh my God," to herself. She was. Everyone saw it, which is a bad thing, a bad sign at that point. Oh shit, his wife is scared. That
is something you do when you're trying to keep words in your mouth because you're hearing what's happening. And you don't want those to be said that way.
No, Jesus.
That's just a subconscious thing you do.
Fuck yeah. So I guess Illinois got tons of calls from church members at first complaining about this, but then once they found out exactly what he did, people kind of stopped, and it was just a few. The prosecutor said, quote, I understand the church people thinking this guy has turned his life around, but a sense of justice for the victims' families needs to be remembered. Well, he ran away, yeah. So he's officially violated for parole on February 18th, 1992. He goes in front of the State Prisoner Review Board. Joan Lopes, her daughter Sarah, and a bunch of parishioners, like we said, traveled. By the way, he met Joan through her daughter Sarah, who was contacting people. Really? And then, yeah, it's a really weird thing. And then ended up being like, you got to talk to this guy. He's great. He's all about Jesus. And then the mother, rather than saying, stop talking to prisoners, what the fuck are you doing? The mother said, oh, he sounds nice.
Has he got a cock?
Oh, I bet he does. It's in another state behind bars, but I'll take it. So they all traveled at their own expense here and everything. Now since this, they have his followers that followed him have started a new church in his name, not in his name, but with him as the pastor. They've broken away from the old church. It didn't support him. How fucking cult is this?
Brainwashed.
This is crazy. Called Cross of Christ Bible Church. Uh-huh. That's the new church that follows him, or he's the pastor of. It's operating out of one of the parishioners' home, and it's they hope that that they're asking the parole board, please don't imprison our pastor. He's the leader of our church. They're doing this to try to get him out of jail here. Now, the prosecutor, Andy Miller, has something to say here. I think we'll give them a statement. He says, quote, I think there was a feeling in the beginning that he was being unfairly prosecuted. One of his parishioners called up a local TV station and said that I admitted it was a paperwork mistake, which of course wasn't true. His attorney, for instance, will say he hasn't broken the law since he's got out of prison, except for jumping parole. Hasn't changed his name here in Washington, hasn't gotten a different social security number, and he's been a model citizen, etc. But what gets lost here in situations like this, I think, is the families of the victims. There's a sense of feeling justice. If you don't punish people for parole violations, why have the parole system at all? Yeah, he did 11 and a half years. He should have been the nicest guy in the world for the next, 40 years that he was on parole.
In Illinois.
Right. Do what you're told and stay there. You fucked up bad, and they're giving you a second chance. Be thankful.
Right.
So he asked to be returned to parole status without serving any additional time because he's been a law-abiding citizen, which is crazy. He says that he begged them. He says, quote, this is Edmund talking. There's jailhouse talk that you hear, and I was stupid enough to listen, that if you stay straight for 5 years, the board isn't going to bother with you. That was something I had in the back of my mind. I figured the board was going to say, well, this man is a new man, and let him go. That's what he told them. Like, I figured it was fine. You just let me go because I've been good. Obviously, I've been good here. So this, Jesus Christ here, testimonials by pleas from these people, his wife, his stepchildren, parishioners, co-workers, all these people from Washington that traveled on their own expense saying how important he is. All of them doing all this type of shit. No testimony from his victims, though, because Shirley Johnston does not, at any of his parole hearings, she never appears.
She doesn't want to be there.
She's frightened of him, and she wants nothing to do with him or anything about this.
The man left a knife in her neck.
That she wants nothing to do with shit. She wrote a letter saying that, at one point, just saying that I obviously would like him to be in jail as long as humanly possible. The thought of him on the street scares the shit out of me and makes me want to not sleep for a month. So, one of his parishioners said, quote, I didn't know Ed in the past, but I know that if history has ever been brought forth a changed man, this would be the guy. These people are fucking snowed.
Certainly.
Others, they told stories of him helping a grieving widower, befriending an ill child, carrying his father figure to orphans and shit. Like, they're talking about him like he's fucking Jesus. Carol Spainheimer, who taught Sunday school classes with him, said, quote, the Illinois penal system is made to reform, to make new people out of old, to make them so they will not do what they did before. They have succeeded. With Jesus Christ and the penal system, they have made a new person. That's fucking funny. I don't know why.
The Catholic Church has done that also, but it's for the worst.
It doesn't work
with Jesus and a penal system.
It works out bad. Yeah. Well, if you have Jesus, your penal system is a whole separate thing at that point. It really turns into a weapon. He says, Lopes says, quote, the thing I would like to say to this board here is that I did not break the trust the board gave me as far as being regenerated, rehabilitated. I took that trust and I became a new man. Wonderful. They said, though, they vote they end up voting here to send him back to prison for jumping parole for how long? You, sir, may fuck off for 3 months.
Oh, my fuck.
3 months for jumping parole. One of the people said that, Jesus Christ, it posed no difficulties, and the board said one parole person said that it should be another 3 years, but they vote for 3 months. They say if Lopes maintains a clean record and reports to Washington parole authorities, they're going to let him go to Washington. They're going to let him leave and everything as they instruct him. His relationship with Illinois officials will officially end when he leaves on Monday. They're like, if you go to Washington, you're gone. Now you're Washington's problem. Okay? You guys take him? All right, good. We're out.
This is very butch, and
it's weird.
What was Marcellus? What about us?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
There ain't no you and me.
There ain't no you and me. Yeah. Pop, I don't care if that motherfucker go to Indochina. All right, so
the fuck out of town.
They said another one, a criminal defense, one of his lawyers, who's also a born again Christian, said that, quote, we had a psychologist do a profile. He came out well. He was not a deceiver on this test. Great. Not on this test. How about the test of his life?
Or he did deceive, and you don't see it either.
Well, he said, then we had a polygraph. Have you committed crime since your release? That was one of the crucial questions. Again, he came out well. I think people who commit horrible crimes and realize what they've done later in their life and want to make amends for it somehow, I think some of the things he told the congregation, well, a lie, as you say. Yeah. No, as fucking objective the dictionary says. He said things that aren't true on purpose. Therefore, a lie. Right. So, yeah, Jesus fucking Christ, man. He says, was his effort of coming clean. They turned it, he lied to be more good. Unreal. To get forgiveness. That's why he lied, they said. He just couldn't tell it in the real way. Wow. He even says that I think it might be possible that he talked to the newspaper because he wanted to get caught in his heart. That's why he told that woman.
No, I think it's because he got away with it for so long, they ain't going to check.
He felt like a big man, I feel like. Tell. He's like, that's all the way over there. That was years ago. That was 25 years ago, too. That's done and over with. So Bill Phillips, who's the pastor of another church, said, quote, I tell you, emotions have gone top to bottom, left to right on this. The braggadocio quality of his mafia fictions always bothered me. There was something in that in me that didn't want to believe it. He knew, obviously. But you see, he was such a believable person. Look, I want to understand that Brother Ed Lopes did no doubt have a personal experience with the Gideon Bible. I believe he's a born-again man, but born-again people can be crooked as a snake, too. True.
Most are.
Yeah. No shit, man. So, wow. My goodness. They talked to Joan during this whole thing, and she said that now he wasn't lying at all. She said, quote, the fifth letter I got, he told me what his crimes were. He never shucked and jived. She said he told me murder and attempted murder, and she said, did he specify who? And she said no. And they said, didn't the fact that he was a murderer bother you? And she said, quote, it wasn't the man I was writing to when I met him. Because Jesus had taken him and transformed him.
Of course.
So once you're transformed, you're transformed. That's it. He's not a murderer anymore.
Also, he didn't tell you he killed his fucking wife.
Yeah, no shit. Jesus Christ. My God. She said, quote, then one morning here a little while ago, I thought I was going to have to tie a ball and chain to my right leg. It was shaking so. I want you to know I've never for 1 minute doubted that little man. That's his wife.
She said little man.
She said that little man. He's a strange little bird. I've never doubted that little man.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. So, and then she said, by the way, he's going to get out of this mess. He's still going to be my little lover.
She can't stop belittling him.
Christ almighty. The church, by the way, in the neighborhood, now the new church, it has 10 pews in a low ceiling room. They have a plywood board in the sanctuary that says enrollment 60 people there. Offering last Sunday, $822. Offering today, $675. Building fund, $4,600 to build a new building.
They're nowhere near.
So they're nowhere near. So back to parole court. He only has to do 3 months. He's continued, and he's let off on May 18th, 1992. By the way, the same day the board decided to send Ed Lopes back to prison only for 3 months, Brockton prosecutors in Massachusetts decided that there was not enough evidence to charge him in Helen Hansen's death. He's a free man.
Oh, my
They
Lord.
let him go. But he's a free man, and he goes back to West Richland to take up his ministry, but things don't go real well. There's articles about him. An article in the paper says, quote, he lives in a fantasy world of homicide. Only 5 months ago, he was lying to his West Richland Baptist Church congregation about his past. Not just lying either. He was spinning incredible stories of murders with himself at the center of the violence. Yeah. So they're saying what a piece of shit he is. After a couple weeks of all of this, no one came to his services. He was just a mess. After a couple weeks, him and Joan slink away into the night and leave Washington, which, by the way, he's not allowed to do.
Right.
And they go to Nebraska.
Back
to Nebraska. They're there for a little while. And records indicate he moved to Missouri in 1995. Okay, in 1997, police in Clinton, Missouri arrested him in Gower, which is north of Kansas City, for violating his parole by doing what? Committing fucking bigamy again.
What?
For the second time.
He got married again?
More bigamy. Yeah. More bigamy. You have to get divorced first, stupid. Right. And at the time, he wasn't living with either of these women. So he was married to 2 women, enough to get charged with, but he was living alone and working as a fucking laborer. So talk about all the downfall of marriage and none of the benefits.
None.
He's got nothing. He's getting arrested for it, for Christ's sake. So December 2nd, 1997, his parole is revoked again. He is brought back to Illinois, his original, and imprisoned at Dixon again. So he's put back in prison. That is 1997. In prison, he's still trying to get parole over and over and over again. One parole, I found his parole reports, which are pretty cool. Here is a report from 2013. So that is 16 years after he got put back away here. They say, quote, Mr. Lopes' institutional adjustment has been good. His last ticket was of a minor nature in 2011. He resides in the healthcare unit due to his medical needs. He's confined to a bed most of the time.
Awesome.
He still works as a janitor and is active in religious groups. He's now in the hospice program and administered to spiritual and emotional needs of the fellow inmates of hospice. January 2nd, 2013 is a parole hearing. He's interviewed for parole. It's at the Dixon Correctional Center. He is there's a 3-person board. He's 77 years old. He is serving a shitload of time, obviously. He's in the medical unit. He expressed remorse and stated that he thought, at the time, back in the day, he thought he was God's gift to women. He says he wants a chance to get out and do something positive with his life. He wants his kids to be proud of him. You know, all those kids he abandoned.
The ones that don't know him.
60 years ago. Right. You know, those kids that are probably maybe dead of old age. Those kids. He says that. He says his plans are to, when he gets paroled, to move to the Oxford House in Bellwood, Illinois. He's estranged from his wife, Joan. He said he would seek income through Social Security insurance, and he can receive Medicare through the VA because he was in the Marines, and they check on that. They say all that's true.
Estranged implies that you don't know where they are. She knows exactly where you are, but she's estranged from you.
She took off. They said he served in his life a total of 26 years incarceration. They said he's been incarcerated since the 70s. He's been paroled twice, locked up for 17 years. He served 13 years and was paroled then. They're talking about all this shit here. They say he has no violence since he's been in corrections, which, there's no women there.
77.
They do note that he's been a scam artist his whole life for everything. They also said he has no relationship with his children to speak of, to make them proud of. He's very weak and very ill. One of the parole board actually says they believe the parole board is reaching to keep him locked up on a parole violation. He's 77. He's got heart failure. He's got liver problems. He's got all sorts of problems here. Another member of the parole board noted that his actions have caused the destruction of lives, and he involved a lot of people in his scams. They said last year he almost got out. He was like 50-50 on the board, on the fence of getting out on parole. And finally they said that they got a letter saying that he will be accepted by that house, if the Oxford House, if they let him out. And so they tell him, Fuck off. Parole denied. You're not getting it anyway. 77 sick and whatever. Maybe keep you a little extra time. They said, quote, the board makes a specific finding that the release of victim protest letters could subject a person to actual risk of physical harm. They're talking about Shirley Johnston, his safety and her safety, and her her being out there, and also his safety of, people might want to hurt him.
Right.
So he pleads to the governor for clemency. He says he recognizes all the bad in his life has come on his own doing. He says, but now as time approaches, he wants to have a few fleeting moments of freedom once again. He says, please help me. He says he's dying from heart and liver problems, and he asked to be released to a halfway house. He's in hospice. He's a volunteer. He says he doesn't want to find himself in the position of other men he had counseled in their last days. He says he desperately doesn't want to die in jail. August 2nd, 2013, Edmund dies in jail. His clemency letter never made it to the governor. Never got read. It was in the process on his pile, but never even got read.
He died.
He dies in prison in 2013, much like two of the women, and who knows how many women he's fucking killed. That's the other thing. We have no idea. With that kind of MO, he was just fucking killing left and right. He could have went down to Florida. He could have had a trail behind him in Florida. He could have just, the Gators must have ate her. I don't know. Shit, she's gone. There was a book here that I got some interesting background information from this that I got to give credit to the book, because they had that background information other people didn't have. The book is called For I Have Sinned by John Glatt, and it's about religious leaders that kill people, basically, like that sort of shit. Like, bad pastors. It's pretty fucking cool. I read it. It's good shit. So check that out. That is Bloomingdale, Illinois, and West Richland, Washington, and a whole bunch of other shit. Brockton, Mass.
With 11 years.
How do people not know this story? That's another thing. Well, how is this not a story that you hear all the time? This is crazy.
Constantly talking about how we can't lower sentences and just let people out. How is this not an example of that?
Well, not when they're killing people. Like, this is fucking crazy. Like,
that's terrible.
Wow. How many people could he have killed back then? Who knows?
That's terrible.
I don't know how nobody knows about the story. Like, how this wasn't like, oh yeah, this story, it's too popular for us to do.
This is disgusting.
I don't understand it. So, wow. Well, if you like that story, you're not too disgusted by this when you're done with it, give us a review. Go to iTunes, Apple Podcasts, whatever the hell you want to do here. Give us a review. 5 stars would be wonderful. It really helps drive us up the charts. I can't tell you how helpful it is on the business end. Doesn't matter what you say. It's not for our egos. You can go to shutupandgivememurder.com to get all of your merchandise. Leggings are up. Murder pants are up. They say murder on the leggings. They are official murder pants in our font. Get those. We have everything on there. All your mugs and t-shirts and bath mats and all that horse shit. Also, get your tickets to West Palm Beach, Florida on February the 21st at the West Palm Improv. Get your asses down there and see us, because we are going to put on a hell of a show. I can promise you that. It's going to be a party. Do all of that. You can follow us on social media. We are at Small Town Murder on Instagram, at Murder Small on Twitter, Small Town Pod on Facebook. Just search us. You'll find us on there. Follow us on there for all that kind of good stuff. We post some funny shit and some updates on things. So follow us. And if you want to be a big hero, absolute hero, we can't tell you how much we love these people. Well, we're going to try in a second here. Our producers, the people who make this show run, you can do that. You can become one of those people by going to patreon.com/crimeinsports or heading over to PayPal and using our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com, to make a one-time donation. Every dime is overwhelmingly appreciated. Thank you so much for everything you do for us. You guys are fucking amazing. And Jimmy, tell me a list of these goddamn amazing people, because I need it right now.
This week's executive producers are Ari Karrason, Chelsea. Fuck, what did I do?
That's a weird last name.
Oh, Chelsea Lene. That's what that is.
There you go.
Sorry.
Chelsea, fuck, what did I do? Jesus.
Tanisha Teo, Lisa Hewitt, Megan Schmelzenbach. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
That was a fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, you guys are so nice to us.
Ola. Oh, boy. Ole, I am so sorry. Ole Halawadiji. Don't look at me.
I'm not, hey, I have.
It's a tough one. Ola is definitely foreign, and
no,
that's not a Chad Smith. Ola Halajawadi.
Not one of those Midwestern Olas that I hear all the time.
Halawadij. I think that's it.
Okay. Well, thank you. I like your name, and I wish we could pronounce it better.
Howard Wilson, Ben Kastner, Scott Liebarger, and Michelle Gilbert. You guys, thank you so much for.
Can't thank you enough.
You guys really lead the charge, and
the
we really
life's
appreciate
blood.
you. Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Other producers this week, we have Jacob Harshman, who went to both Patreon and then over to PayPal. Thank you, man. Karina Walker, Haley Brustaukis, Thomas Smith, Michael Bretz, Jen Stevens, Chris Courier, Matt Dietrich, Benjamin Donaki, Chelsea Morgan. You know what? She donated twice.
Wow. Thank you,
Chelsea.
Thank you, Chelsea.
Wendy Dyes, Suave Marcia Gumbo, or Marcia. I'm not good at this.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Brendan Abels, Kelly Higby, Amanda Asperheim, Bill Szynski, Steve Schnell, and PA. Thanks, Steve. That's the rock and roll.
Thanks, brother. Heavy metal scientist.
Yeah. That's what it is. What am I doing?
What's up, Steve? Thanks, brother.
And in Pennsylvania, when we were at the Philly Punchline, he told me what he does. It's fucking.
Oh, he's fucking smart as shit. That guy.
You look at that guy and you
smart.
go, "What's this difference?"
And you talk to him for 5 minutes and you go, "Oh yeah, he's really smart.
He's clearly,
he's a really smart guy."
But you look at him and you're like, he looks like a roadie.
He looks like a psychopath. Yeah, he looks like he looks like he'd like crush your skull for selling bootleg Metallica T-shirts in the parking lot. They'd send him out there to like kick your skull in.
And then
he's a great guy.
Cheap wine out of your skull.
Yeah, and he's a great dude.
He's amazing. Quebec, I don't know if the city donated.
The whole city?
I think
Thanks,
so.
French people.
Jesse Hartman, Maribel Leal, Remy Pequery? Is it Remy or Remy? R-E-M-I with like a little thing. Ramy. I'll bet it's Ramy Pequery.
Okay.
That's right. Or Pequery.
That sounds great, and I'm sure it's wrong, but it sounds beautiful.
Ashley Vio, James Fraker, Deanne Dooley, Margie Coonsey, Tracy Rinninger, Jacob Hoem, Jordan Moser, Naima Shea, Marshall Walker, Peyton Meadows.
Mayhunes. The fuck did you pull that out of your ass from?
Oh boy. Under the Sea Fabrics, Edward Kaczynski, Marshall Walker, John Volkanar the third. I've said his name a million times and I can't I'll never get it.
Tough one.
Jesse Foster, Rachel Robbins, Stephen Rude, Stephanie Smith, or Smith Stephanie. I'm sure it's Stephanie Smith.
Probably.
But it came in the other way.
All right.
Rachel Robbins, Stephen Rude, I said that. Laura Schwartz Hockey, yes. Janice Hill, Jonathan Wilder, Keith Cole, Ashley Hathaway, McKenna Coda, Dominique Nichols.
There you go. That's the one.
This is really frustrating. Alex Calder, Caleb Crawley, Shauna Rogers, Roger Lovelady. What? Heather Mueller, Gary Howard, Barbara Howells, Lindsay Firster. Almost called her Fister. Sorry about that.
Fister, hardly knew her.
Sean Tucker, Misty Keene, Vern Parks, Ted Cyrus, Natalie Meyer, Gretchen Jones, Neil Jones, Justin Miller, Patricia Grace, Charlie Way, Haley Marble, Shama Parker, Shama Parker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sarah Jenkins, Hannah Simmons, Donna Engelhart, Rachel Stora. I said Rachel and I got her again. May Lee Elliott. I hope it's probably somebody else, but I know somebody that goes by May Lee that does some adult films, and I wanted it to be her so bad.
Oh God! Oh.
May Lee Elliott.
I'm gonna look that up. Jesus Christ.
Ren Finch, Maurice Peterson, Jordan Bennett, Herb Garcia, Lisa Watson, Lewis Tidrick.
We've gotten delirious. Thank you, Levi's.
Alyssa with no last name. Krista. I called her Levi's. Krista Gibson, Aaron Ishiak, Caitlin Minguez, Heather Norton, Jane Richards, Lindsay Walker, Sebastian Martin, Stacey Hardy, Daniel McDonald. I am so sorry, Lewis. Spring Monday Wise, Team Crucial on YouTube. I don't know what that is, but
hey,
you can go
you.
look him up. Chad with no last name, Emily Brazil, Kelly Panosian? Yes. Panosian?
Okay.
It's one of those.
Yeah.
Ashley Wilsey, Summer McLean, Matt Sledge, Matt Sledge. Sorry, sir.
Levi Sludge. Where's Levi Sludge when you need him?
That sounds like it's something that happens after a lap dance.
I got Levi Sludge, everybody. I'll be back in 5 minutes. I got to go to the can.
Carly Dodson, Jamie loves Jimmy because she's very nice. Kay with no last name. Jacob Cornwell, Desiree Brown, Vanessa Fajardo, Fajardo. That's it.
Yeah.
Danielle Harnois, Lonnie Hall, Plum Foxington. That can't be real, right?
I hope so.
That's a great name. Kristen Waller, Kurt Atherholt, Brittany McDonald, Tracy Jones, Laura Fasoni. Yes. Stephen Tucciarelli. Ken Slattery, Jen Colazzo, Patrick Fetty, Captain Surly. That's easy enough. Carrie Berger, Colin Shea, Jimmy's nutsack. That's what that says. Whatever. You got me. You happy now? Edgar Cordero, Lily Meyer, Dragonfly Girl, Shelley Cassidy, Don Peterson, Mariah Musgrave, Carrie Centeno, yes, and Haley Landgraf.
Wow.
You guys... It's a fucking unbelievable list, and we can't be thankful enough to really tell you how grateful we are. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everybody. This is it's been a wild week, and wow, thank you so much for everything you've given us, and we just appreciate the shit out of everybody that hangs out with us. Thank you so much. And what if people appreciated the shit out of you, Jimmy? Where can they find you to tell you that?
You can find me at Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. And the messages you guys send, I do my best to read or respond to just about all of it. And thank you guys. So it's fucking overwhelming. The support that you guys give in terms of personal words is fucking rad, and I really appreciate it. Like Funky Writer and her sister Vinny. Sister Vinny? Yeah, I think that's true.
Okay, sure.
She wrote me about her sister's birthday or something. It's interesting that the people that listen, they listen, and they listen with their family, and
that's cool.
And they have like inside things that they say to each other. It's amazing.
Okay, I love that so much when people like listen together. Like when we have people come to our shows and it'll be like a mom and her 17-year-old son, or like just a couple of sisters or a group of people from an office. We all work together and we all listen.
So personal.
They're like connected, and they say like, we say this all the time, and they have like what we have done our whole lives with movies or comedians or whatever. You have these little lines that you go back and forth, and great outdoors. And to some people, we're like 10% of the great outdoors for them, which is pretty cool.
Some people have only seen the great outdoors because of us.
That's like weird. Bill Murray calling Chevy Chase medium talent. If it's coming from Bill Murray, that's a compliment. You know what I mean? He's trying to be insulting, but fuck, I'm proud of that.
What about you? Where can they tell you you're medium talent?
You can call me a medium talent over at Jimmy P is funny, or you can copy and paste my last name from the show description because it's long, and why bother? Why try to spell it if you really don't have to? I mean, honestly, what are we talking about here? But I can't thank you guys enough for everything you send my way and compliments and everything. I don't know how to take them sometimes, but I appreciate them a ton, and we really do appreciate everything. Even you Oregon people, we even appreciate.
So this episode, did you watch any news coverage of this? Like watching somebody say his name? Because
no, I just know in an article they say Lopes like ropes to make sure you know.
Okay, to make sure you know it's not Lopez.
It's not Lopez. It's Lopes.
Because this whole time I was letting this ride.
Lopes, and they say Lopes like ropes.
Okay.
Said thank you, Chicago Tribune. You fucking bastards. I love it.
I wanted this whole episode to go get clarity at the end.
I said this shit with confidence. And if your town isn't pronounced Bloomingdale, go fuck yourself, because it's spelled Bloomingdale. I'll tell you that right now. There's a goddamn store with that name.
I wanted the end.
Way more popular than you.
And then me go, are you sure it's not Lopez? And you go, no, I'm not sure.
No, not positive at all.
Care.
And don't care. Nope, it's Lopes. Otherwise, I would have went with Lopez.
He's dead. Fuck him.
But it's Lopes. Fuck him. He's a dead murderer. dead murdering liar. So fuck him. Anyway, everybody, until next week, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.